Well, hello, baseball fans. We are broadcasting live from Verne, California, getting set for Division III Super Regional Baseball action between the Lynchburg Hornets and the University of Verne Leopards. Hello, my name is Kyle Hoehne. We are bringing it to you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, a special audio-only broadcast. There are some video options out there, and we encourage you to check that out. And if you're really savvy with the technology, you can work on syncing up this audio with the other video. And leopardathletics.com is the Verne website. You can get there with that. Lynchburgsports.com is the Lynchburg website. Yes, it's super regional action here between Lynchburg and Verne. It is a best 2 out of 3 series. This is game 1. We are scheduled to start at high noon Pacific time, so it's 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we are so glad to have you along for the ride. We will try to talk about both these ball clubs really quickly, give you a little mini scouting report, and we'll talk about how they got here. For Lynchburg, it was a Cleveland regional victory last weekend. They beat Ithaca 3-1 on Friday night in the opening round game. They beat Case Western Reserve, the host school, twice. It was 5-0 Saturday, and then a 6-5 walk-off win on Sunday for Lynchburg. Great pitching. This entire playoff run for Lynchburg has been a real theme. Timely hitting as well, and timely hitting coming from different players too. It hasn't been any one guy for Lynchburg in this playoff run. Yes, they have the dudes and the guys that can deliver in the clutch, and they have so many up and down the lineup that we've been talking about all season long. So that has been a component of this postseason success, but the sustained pitching success has been big as well for Lynchburg. Starting pitching has been outstanding, specifically but not limited to Wes Arrington and Nick Matfield. Those guys have really been sort of the defined 1 and 2 in the rotation for Lynchburg all season long, so it's been great to have them deliver when their team needs it most. Not that they weren't delivering in the regular season, but look, let's be honest. This is the best Lynchburg has played all season long. It's an 8-game winning streak, and all against playoff quality competition. To review, it was an opening ODAC series against the Bridgewater Eagles that Lynchburg took a 2-game sweep there. That gets them into the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Final Four, and they win 3 straight ball games there. A no-hitter from Arrington against Randolph-Macon, and then Lynchburg beat Roanoke twice. And then in regional play, it was another Wesley Arrington complete game, that 3-1 victory against Ithaca. Great starting pitching from Matfield against Case Western Reserve, and then Logan Tapman took the ball to start the game 3 there against the home team Spartans. Really pitched great. Bullpen followed up with some outstanding stuff as well. So the pitching has been strong. The defense has been strong, and again, timely hitting for Lynchburg. This Verne Leopard squad will be very formidable, to say the least. You don't get into an NCAA Super Regional without being a good ball club, and Verne is. On the season, the Leopards are 30-14-1. They come in riding a 3-game winning streak. Interesting little setup for Verne. When you factor in the end of their regular season and then their conference tournament, they actually lost 5 out of 7. So it was a squad that was really not heading in the right direction when they got to their regional. That was a 2-team regional. They called that the NCAA West Regional. They took on Trinity University in Texas. They lost game 1 18-9. That was on Friday, May 17th, 1 week ago. They turn around on Saturday and win 2 ball games against Trinity by big scores. 15-6 they beat the home team, and then 12-3 they beat the home team. And then Sunday, Verne locked up this super regional bid with a 1-0 walk-off victory in 10 innings against Trinity. So it was a 2-team regional there. That becomes the best 3 out of 5, but that gets Verne here. Both teams had to wait a couple days to see where the location of this super regional series would be, but it's right here in Verne, California. We are in Southern California. It is the Los Angeles area. They call this area the Inland Empire. Sometimes it gets shortened to just the IE. But it's really, really very cool. You've got the San Gabriel Mountains to the north, which are a bit obscured right now because of some clouds. We had the marine layer, which is hanging around. Sometimes the locals and folks up and down the California coast will call this the May gray and then the June gloom, because apparently the science behind it is the The ocean temperature is still pretty cool, but then the air temperature gets warm, so you get a temperature inversion, which will create the marine layer that can sometimes hang around all day. I think this morning we just had a legit light drizzle and rain, but it appears to be stopped. It's a great ball field to play on here at Laverne. 410 to dead center field. Down the lines, it's 327. Power alleys. Left center power alley gap is 388. That's where our scoreboard is. Right center gap 372. They typically say the ball does not fly great here at Laverne. If you look at the home run numbers for the Leopards, that would back that up. They do not hit as many home runs as Lynchburg. They also don't give up as many home runs as Lynchburg. So some statistical notes there to be aware of as Wesley Arrington is taking the warm-up tosses for Lynchburg. He will be the Game 1 starter for the Hornets, who are the home team, interestingly enough. There was a coin flip to determine the home and away team. Lynchburg wins the coin flip. So they're the home squad here in Game 1, and then what will be an if-necessary Game 3. Remember, it's a best 2 out of 3. Lynchburg at this stage last year hosted Shenandoah. They won both of those 2 games to book the spot in the D3 College World Series. Got to win 2 out of 3. And Laverne has a pretty good crowd here today. Stands are not quite full, but you got a lot of Laverne fans that are stretched along the right field line in foul territory. Lynchburg has traveled well. Quite a few of the faces that we saw up in Cleveland have made this trip across the coast. So we are thrilled that you are listening with us now or in the future. It'll be fun to go back and listen to this one for sure. Junior Benny Vogel leads it off for Laverne. We'll run down the rest of the lineup here in just a second, but let's tell you about Lynchburg defensively. Wesley Arrington starts. The battery mate will be Sean Pokerrock. At first base, Eric Hyatt. In the middle, it's the Batman and Robin combo of Ben Jones and Brandon Garcia. Gavin Collins plays third base for Lynchburg. In the outfield, left to right, Eddie Gimbel gets the start in left. Center field, it's O'Kelly McWilliams the fourth. And in right, it's Quinn Madden. First pitch is a strike, and we are underway here in Southern California. 0-1 count to Benny Vogel, junior designated hitter for Laverne. Strike 2 just peppers the edge. A bullseye there from Wesley Arrington. Looked like back-to-back fastballs. By the way, Benny Vogel on the season, this is just start number 8, so he is a recent addition. He was not the leadoff hitter in Game 1 of Laverne's regional, but the last 3 games he was, and he swung it great. He'll foul this one off. Our first contact of the series. Still an 0-1 count for Benny Vogel, who's also a pitcher for Laverne. He's the designated hitter in the lineup today. Ryan Vosica, the shortstop, hits second. Matthew Diaz, center fielder, third. Logan Reese, right fielder, cleaning up. Nathan Perry hits fifth. There's another 0-2 from Wesley Arrington. This one tapped to the right side. Eric Hyatt will drop the hips, study the hops, and then flip to Wesley Arrington as he comes over to cover first. 1 out in the books here for Lynchburg, a 4-pitch at bat for Wes Arrington. And Lynchburg has got a defensive out under their belt here in Laverne. A couple days of practice. Yesterday was a short one, basically just a quick little BP session. We got to do a great little social media video that's still available on the Lynchburg social media destinations and also YouTube. Having some fun with the guys. Everybody was loose. The theme in the postseason has been the Vibes Train. The Vibes Train expressed to Laverne. It's full steam ahead right now for Lynchburg. And Wesley Arrington's looking good as he gets strike 1 at the knees to Ryan Vosica. Arrington out of the stretch all the time. No wind up for this fifth-year man from Keswick, Virginia. Does throw a ball, his first ball of the game as Vosica watches that one go high and wide. Vosica is the team leader in average at 388. No home runs, 4 triples, 4 doubles, so mainly a singles hitter. He'll shoot one hard past Ben Jones. Ben Jones, the second baseman, had the outstretched glove near that ball, but Vosica just hit that one too hard, so there's the first base hit of the ball game for the University of Laverne Leopards. And now it will be number 16, Matthew Diaz. Some numbers on the season for Wes Arrington. So far this year, Arrington, the Sheriff, is 8-2 now with a 4.32 earned run average, 14 starts, 2 complete games. Oh, by the way, both of those have come in playoff competition. The no-hitter against Randolph-Macon in the ODAC tournament, and then night 1 against Ithaca in the regional tournament. Arrington has 3 career complete games, and if you remember, that first one was against East Texas Baptist. last year in Cedar Rapids in the World Series, the NCAA championships. A lot going on. A lot of those teams from last year are still in it. Lynchburg has played a lot of teams this year that are still in the tournament. They're in super regional play. Those teams would include Randolph-Macon, Christopher Newport, Salisbury, Birmingham Southern, and ETBU, all still in the tournament. Laverne has played 2 schools this year that are still in action. Pomona-Pitzer is in super regional play. And then Laverne, interestingly enough, played a 3-game series against East Texas Baptist. So that is the one common opponent between these 2 squads, which is really kind of fun when you think about Lynchburg from Virginia, Laverne from California. The fact that they actually even have a common opponent on the schedule is noteworthy to me. It's a 1-1 count to Matthew Diaz as he fouls one off. He holds the hands lower, little bat wiggle. He'll wait after a toss to first by Arrington to keep Ryan Vosica close. This is a Laverne squad that has 61 stolen bases as a team. Vosica is 3 out of 5 this year. Compare that to Lynchburg's 97 swipes. So Lynchburg as a squad runs a bit more. Here's the 1-1. Slider, strike. Got a check swing from Diaz, but that's a very good pitch from Wesley Arrington. I was giving you Arrington's numbers, 89 strikeouts in 83 1/3 innings. He has walked 34. And the scouting report for Wesley Arrington, a lively fastball in the low 90s. We saw that in the ODAC tournament. We saw it in the regional. The fastball is sitting really at 90, 91, 92. Arrington juicing a few up in that 93, 94 range. He said the arm feels great, body feels great. He pairs that hard fastball with the sharp slider. Arrington has great movement on the 2-seam fastball. One knee down stance from Sean Pokerock. This ball dumped into center field, but O'Kelly McWilliams really had it played perfectly. McWilliams was slid to the right center gap and a bit more shallow on Matthew Diaz as Diaz tried to punch that one over the second baseman. He did that, but O'Kelly McWilliams there to make the grab in shallow right center field. We'll bring up Logan Reese hitting with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Leopards are the host school, but the visiting team in this one. Lynchburg in their all black. Black on black with the black top, red and white trim, black pants. These are the newer uniforms for Lynchburg. They've got the black hat with the red bill and trim Hornet logo on top. Vosica was leaning slightly, but he's back in time after another pickoff attempt from Wesley Arrington. Laverne has kind of a Miami Hurricanes color scheme with a green and orange. They've also got a little bit of a silver look in there for the Leopard logo. It's a good combo for Laverne. They are wearing the gray pants today. Strike 1 from Wesley Arrington. So far, so good for the Sheriff. Said he's ready to put a few hitters in jail out here in Southern California. That's what Wes does. He can handcuff you with the hard fastball and the slider. He will throw the changeup occasionally, but it's primarily just those 2 pitches are the moneymakers for Wesley Arrington, and they are really A-plus and elite quality pitches. So when he's got those 2 going, he doesn't need to go to the 3rd and 4th options very much. Nico Urquidy is the starter for Laverne. We'll talk about his numbers when he comes out. 1-1 count. Arrington will throw to first again. Keeping Vosica busy. Lynchburg as a unit has the commitment to keeping runners close, holding runners on, giving the catchers a chance. Catcher here in game 1 is Sean Pokerock, as expected. Pokey threw a base runner out in the NCAA regional action in Cleveland. Lynchburg looking to get back to the Cleveland area. Not a Cleveland address, though, for the Division III World Series. The national championships will be in nearby East Lake, Ohio. Basically just north, about 20 minutes north of where we were at last weekend. Here comes the 1-1 to Reese. Tall right-handed swinger, waits for it. Check swing. That's a called strike. I think Reese might have gone around anyway, and now the count is 1-2. Catcher Nathan Perry waits on deck. Logan Reese on the season with some good numbers at .364, 5 home runs and 8 doubles. He is the home run leader. He's a lanky right-handed swinger. He'll bloop this one. Ben Jones is going to have to go back to try to run it down. Jones will reach up. This ball will fall. 2 hits in the inning. Quinn Madden will throw to third to try to get the base runner. Ball kicks away. This is going to allow Reese to advance to second, but Vosica has to stay put at third. Wesley Arrington was backing up on the play. That probably saved a run. Good effort from Ben Jones. It was a bloop single, but 2 hits in the inning now for Laverne. And the Leopards are threatening here in the top of the first. There are 2 outs. Really good pitch there, a 2-strike hit from Logan Reese. Nice little piece of 2-strike hitting, really just threw the hands at it. Didn't get a lot of it, but got enough to drop it between Ben Jones, the second baseman, who was going back to shallow right field, and Quinn Madden, the right fielder, who was charging on hard. Nathan Perry's the catcher. He steps in, third leading average on the ball club at .367. He has 3 homers, 3 triples, and 10 doubles this season. Ball 1 from Arrington. I believe it had been first pitch strikes to every hitter before that. So Arrington 4 of 5 here in the first pitch strike department in the top of the first inning. Perry hits from the slight crouch, bat rested on his shoulder, swings through a slider. That's that disappearing slider from Wesley Arrington. Looks like a fastball out of the hand. Velocity for that is in the low to mid 80s. Then all of a sudden it takes a nosedive away and down from the right-handed hitter's perspective. Arrington's got the sign now ready. Lynchberg, infield is back, regular depth. There's the slider again. That time Nathan Perry was able to lay off. Good block from Sean Pokerock. It is a deep backstop here at Laverne. So anything by the catcher would allow a runner to score with pretty much ease. It is overall just a slightly deeper ballpark than last week. And we'll compare it to Fox Field after this 2-1 delivery. This ball's airborne. Arrington should be getting out of the inning. Eddie Gimbel has called for it in left field. Gimbel looks up, makes the catch, and the first inning is in the books, so the Leopards do threaten. But a good pitch there from Wesley Arrington to get Nathan Perry to pop out to left field. So we are underway here in Southern California. Laverne gets no runs on 2 hits, 2 left on, no Lynchburg errors. We will pause. We'll figure out if we can work our technology properly, and then we'll get back to you in just a moment. Super regional action between the Hornets and the Leopards on LHSN. All right, we move to the bottom of the first inning. Kyle Hoehne broadcasting live from Southern California. So scenic. I love it out here. I just love the entire environment. It's something different from Virginia. And Southern California is cool because you think Los Angeles, but there's so many other little communities around, like Laverne, for example, that have their own unique character and flavor. We've got the Fairplex Fairgrounds nearby. The Los Angeles County Fair is going on. That is billed as the world's biggest county fair. That sounds probably accurate, I think, even without going inside. That seems right. But, yeah, this is really great. There is a nice crowd that has developed. I'd say we're in the 250 to 300 range, and we don't know how many folks we've got listening and or watching, but we appreciate you tuning in. Nico Urquidy is the starting pitcher for Laverne. He'll take the ball and enter with a 4-3 record. 3.05 earned run average is really good. And he's closing in on 100 strikeouts for the year. That tells you something about his game. 97 strikeouts to only 37 walks. That comes in 76 2/3 innings. The lineup that he's facing for Lynchburg is the same one they started every game with in the Cleveland Regional. It'll be Brandon Garcia. Hollywood leads it off. Ben Jones, his high school teammate, waiting on deck. Quinn Madden will hit third. He's the RBI leader and hits leader for Lynchburg. Sean Pokerock, the catcher, hitting cleanup. Eric Hyatt, first baseman, fifth. Gavin Collins in his usual sixth spot. He's closing in on 200 hits. We'll discuss further. Joe Muniz, the first-year man, is the designated hitter. Eddie Gimble in left field. O'Kelly McWilliams in center field. Logan Webster was playing left and hitting eighth a lot for Lynchburg, but he is unavailable this weekend due to a non-baseball injury. Brandon Garcia took strike one. He took ball one as well, and our count is even at 1-1. Book on Nico Urquidy says a lively mid to upper 80s fastball. Gets you from the left side. I think the delivery causes some sightline issues for a hitter, and that's part of the reason why he's got those big strikeouts. He's got a big looping breaking ball that he just threw. It missed down to Brandon Garcia. It's a 2-1 count. It's one of those big Clayton Kershaw-like 12-6 curveballs that just goes up out of his hand, and you never quite know where it's going to come down because of that steep breaking action. Garcia will swing on the 2-1 and foul it into the protective netting in front of us. I am up here on the top step of the bleachers. Press box was crowded at Ben Hines Field. That is the official name of the ball park, by the way. Ben Hines Field. We're up on the top step. We're amongst the fans. It's a fun environment for baseball. Here's the 2-2. Garcia will spray this one foul down the left field line in the parking lot. It looked like that just clipped a vehicle down there. And Garcia will get ready for another 2-2 from Nico Urquidy. Set the defense for you after this pitch. I'll tell you right now, the battery mate for Urquidy is the catcher, Nathan Perry. Urquidy set. Now pumps and fires. Garcia will spray this one down the left field line. This might be in catching distance for Jason Givens. He gave good chase but couldn't get there. So let's start there. In the outfield and left, it is Jason Givens. In center, it's Matthew Diaz. Logan Reese is the right fielder. He had that 2-strike hit to keep the inning going for Laverne in the top of the first. In the infield, Noah Garcia plays first. The second baseman is Anthony Salcido. His brother, Aiden Salcido, is the third baseman. And the shortstop is Ryan Vosica. Another 2-2 coming up for Brandon Garcia. Shoots this one to the third baseman, but Aiden Salcido is there. Pretty good at bat from Brandon Garcia. I thought it'll go in the books as a L5 or an F5, however you like to score it. We'll note that Brandon Garcia did hit that ball fairly hard, and he worked what I think was a 7-pitch at bat. And here's Ben Jones. Benny Bombs, a sophomore second baseman, had an outstanding regional tournament. He's really been playing well all season, but coming on strong. And in those interviews that we had yesterday, catching up with the guys, Ben Jones said he is trying to work some longer counts this year, trying to use the whole field, maybe not trying to elevate quite as much. Yes, he's still ready to get the A swing off and try to hit a ball deep and over the fence if he can. But he's content to hit a few more singles. Ben Jones on the year has 55 hits. There are 3 home runs, 4 triples, and 10 doubles in that mix. So it's 17 extra base hits for Ben Jones, which really by mortal standards is not bad. Ben Jones has 47 walks on the year. That's the team lead. I believe that's in the top 10 in NCAA Division III baseball as well. It's an 0-2 count on Ben Jones. Breaking ball, swings through, mishandled by Perry, but he kept it around. He'll scramble into foul territory a few steps up the first base line and then throw to first to record the out. 2 down for Lynchburg here in their half of the first inning. Laverne Leopards got 2 on, but left 2 in scoring position when that catcher, Nathan Perry, flew out to left. Here's Quinn Madden. The doctor is looking to make a house call here in Southern California. Madden hitting .345 on the season. Likes the first one and fouls that off the catcher's body. It's an 0-1 count. Madden, the team leader in home runs with 11 and RBI with 64. This junior transfer has just fit right into this lineup perfectly. And all this for a guy who was platooning to begin the season, was not playing every day, but he is a fixture in the lineup now, and he is a fixture in the middle of the lineup. No balls, 1 strike. Urquidy's got the sign. Now he'll lift the front leg and fire. Ground ball up the middle from Madden. Second baseman's there. Strong throw, slightly high, but it's close enough for the first baseman, Noah Garcia, to pull it in. Salcido, Anthony Salcido, recording the 4-3 out. So it's a 3 up, 3 down first inning for Lynchburg offensively. And we have moved quickly to the top of the second. NCAA Super Regional play, a College World Series bid on the line between Laverne and Lynchburg. Laverne, California is the site for our LHSN Road Show, our audio-only broadcast. We appreciate you tuning in, and we thank the folks that are trying to do the thing where you match up the video with our audio. That means so much to us, that you're going the extra mile, and I do love baseball on the radio. The art of that is just, I think, one of the purest forms of sports broadcasting, and it's one of the oldest as well. With the it used to be that's all you could get. Oh, line drive back at Wes Arrington. I think he got the glove on that to knock it down. You're going to see a Lynchburg coach emerge out of the dugout to check on him. That was a sharp shot from Noah Garcia. Arrington picked it up and threw to first. You could tell he was a bit stunned when that ball hit him. I think, again, it felt like he got some of the leather on it. Yeah, Arrington has waved off the head coach, Travis Beasley, and also the athletic trainer, Dane Bauer. So he's fine. I think it still bothers you as a pitcher, even when you get your glove on it, to know, man, that guy hit that ball hard. That could have really hurt me. But Arrington is okay, and there's an out in the books here in the top of the second inning as well. It'll bring up the third baseman, Aiden Salcido. Aiden Salcido in the season, a 274 hitter for Laverne. The stats are always interesting when you get to this stage of the game, right? Because you've got the season numbers to talk about. You've got what teams and what players have done in the postseason. For Laverne, it has been a 7-game postseason. I believe they're 4-3 total in that postseason. For Lynchburg, it's an 8-game postseason at 8-0. Undefeated since the regular season came to a conclusion. And Lynchburg is their longest winning streak of the year at 8 in a row. For Laverne, it's 3 in a row, 3 straight in that super regional, or it's in the regional rather, against Trinity of Texas. We are in the super regional play now. 2-1 count to Aiden Salcido. But yeah, just back to the numbers. I mean, you've got so many you can choose from as a baseball fan already. So as a broadcaster, you got to be careful about how many you give and what you give. I kind of like those last 5 and last 10 game numbers. I think that gives you a bit more of a reflection as far as what guys have been doing lately, rather than season and the career stats sometimes don't matter much. Chopper to Gavin Collins at third. He'll get pressed into service. Strong throw. Good stretch by Eric Hyatt at first base as well to meet that throw at knee height level. And there's 2 outs in inning number 2. Top of the second inning. For the Laverne Leopards, it'll be the left fielder and 8-hole hitter Jason Givens will step in. Jason Givens hits .363 on the season. No home runs, 1 triple, 12 doubles for Givens. He's a guy with more walks than strikeouts. Laverne is a team a little bit like Lynchburg, to where they will use the walk. They will get hit by pitch. Laverne's been hit 88 times as a ball club this year, and that's more than Lynchburg. Lynchburg's offense has been hit by pitch 82 times. So it's honestly a bit rare in the Division III baseball landscape to see a team that gets hit by pitch more than Lynchburg. But this Laverne squad will do that. If you throw it in their batter's box, they're not going to move out of the way, and they might lean or roll into a few along the way as well. Laverne has taken 204 walks in 45 games. Lynchburg has taken 275 walks in 48 games. So this is game number 49 for Lynchburg. For Laverne, it is game number 46. Arrington has missed the zone with a 1-1 fastball, and the count is 2-1 to Jason Givens. 8th hitter in the order here for the Laverne Leopards. They sent 5 to the plate in the top of the first. It's been 2 up, 2 down so far here in the top of the second. Arrington very close with a hard fastball, but the count has run to 3-1 to Jason Givens. Givens is a left-handed swinger for this Leopard squad, coached by Scott Wittenberg. Lynchburg coached by Travis Beasley and his outstanding coaching staff that we love talking about, we love talking to. Fastball there for Arrington makes it a full count, 3-2. Scott Winterburn entering his 24th season for the Leopards. Ground ball backside. Tough hop for Brandon Garcia. He'll load, throw, and they'll get the out at first. Very close there. Hyatt had to make another nice stretch to the right field side of the bag to hold on for the out. So it's a 3 up, 3 down inning. Wesley Arrington survives a little scare on a comebacker and marches back to the dugout as we move to the bottom of the second. Hornets sending up Pokerock, Hyatt, and Collins when we come back on LHSN. So much fun here with the LHSN Road Show. Lynchburg, it's been the vibes train, and this guy is the conductor, Sean Pokerock. That's the phrase that we heard so much in Cleveland. And vibes, just the one word, vibes. That's a word that's getting thrown around a lot more in popular culture these days. Sean Pokerock, a breaking ball in the dirt, nearly hit him, but it's just ball one. But yeah, that word vibes, I don't know when it first came out, maybe 70s, who knows, or late 60s perhaps. But and I guess when you say that, it's short for vibrations, and it's a Lynchburg team that has been operating on a higher vibration, the good vibrations all the way around. They want to have fun. Yes, they want to win, but that's been part of this keys to success in the postseason is we can't take ourselves too seriously. We can't necessarily be a team we're not. We can't be last year's team, even though there are so many players, as Pokerock takes an inside fastball, even though there are so many players on this squad from last year's team, this team has had to write their own story and form their own identity. And I think this whole vibes train phrase is part of that identity. And Sean Pokerock, according to everybody, is at the forefront. Pokey will take a fastball just under the knee for strike two, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Nico Urquidy pitching to Sean Pokerock, who, oh, by the way, was the regional MVP thanks to some outstanding stuff, including a pinch hit home run for Sean Pokerock. Hard ground ball up the middle. Second baseman Anthony Salcido will gather, straighten, and throw to first base. Sean Pokerock short by a step as he grounds out to the second baseman. 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Eric Hyatt, junior from Woodbridge, Virginia, has had a good season so far this year. It's another guy you sense it hasn't quite met his standard. But look, back to what I said about the stats in general, some of those things you did in February, March, and April don't really matter here in late May. Don't really matter in the postseason. Eric Hyatt is a man with sustained postseason success, including being the RBI leader in Cedar Rapids, Iowa last year in the NCAA championship. Hyatt this season, .296 on the year, got 37 walks to just 20 strikeouts, and I always talk about his 2-strike hitting and what a great approach he has. He'll swing through a ball down in the zone, and the count is even up at 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Gavin Collins waiting on deck. Here comes the 1-1 from Urquidy. Hyatt will swing it a ball at the letters and foul it back into the netting. And now it's a 2-strike approach that we'll get to see again from Eric Hyatt. Lynchburg crowd really into it, urging the guys on. Seems like everybody's travel was pretty smooth for the most part. The stories that we heard. The 1-2 from Urquidy. Pitches, that was a curveball that was never close out of his hand. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, it can be a little stressful and a little bit of an anxiety-filled affair, getting an entire ball club from Virginia to California, but the logistical work as Hyatt will foul off the 2-2. The logistics from Athletic Director John Waters and his wonderful staff, including Ed Smith, who has done a lot of the heavy lifting for this trip, has been outstanding. You got to think, too, it's a Memorial Day weekend as well, so you're trying to scramble and get a big team and equipment on flights that are probably already booked up. So A-plus stuff, I think, from the University of Lynchburg athletic staff in general. Coaches have enjoyed getting the guys out here as much as you can anyway. Eric Hyatt is working now with a full count as Urquidy's fastball was low and inside. Here comes the 3-2 to Hyatt. Ball 4. There's that great approach again. Excellent stuff from Eric Hyatt, always unafraid to hit with 2 strikes, and it's the first base runner of the game for the Lynchburg offense. It will bring up Gavin Collins, the senior from Clifton. Was in high spirits yesterday in the practice session where we talked to him. Talked about his perspective as far as he's been a part of now 4 teams that have advanced to postseason play. It's 4 straight NCAA regional appearances for Lynchburg. His freshman and sophomore seasons, the team did not get out of the NCAA regional. Last year, of course, making it all the way to the national championship and winning the national championship. But back in the super regional this year for Gavin Collins. So he's got an interesting take on that about what might have changed, because, look, those teams his freshman and sophomore year were very good as well. 1-0 count to Gavin Collins as Urquidy went with the big breaking ball again and missed. Here's the 1-0. Collins will shoot this the other way. Oh, it hit Eric Hyatt. It hit the base runner, Eric Hyatt, and that is an out. The second baseman would not have had a chance to field that ball, but by rule, the runner has to get out of the way of the bouncing ball and give the fielder a chance to field it. So it's bad luck for Eric Hyatt. Saw that one time last year with Eric Hyatt. Gavin Collins shooting it the other way. I think Gavin Collins might lose a base hit there. I got to confirm that with the scorekeeping gurus. But it would have been a clean single for Gavin Collins. Instead, it's a runner interference and an out for Lynchburg. And Gavin Collins is now on first base. Gavin Collins came into the game with 197 hits. That'll be noteworthy for the statistical stuff as well. Really hoping we can see Gavin Collins get to an even 200 in his career at some point. Collins leads off at first. Urquidy has missed the zone to Joe Munitz, who's batting now from the left side, the first-year man from Frank W. Cox High School. Interesting with Joe Munitz, he was a part of a state championship run last year as a high schooler. That can bring you some playoff experience. You can argue, is it the same? Is it different? I think it's better than nothing for Joe Munitz, another guy that has jumped right in this lineup and been a big addition. Here's the 2-1. Munitz watches that one go up and in. It's a 3-0 count. Nico Urquidy has maybe been in that effectively wild category, but he's now got a runner on first with 2 outs. Sean Pokerot grounded out. Eric Hyatt walked, but then out on the runner's interference on the batted ball from Collins. The 3-1 will just nibble the edge, and that was the 3-0. Now it is a 3-1 count to Joe Munitz. Joe Munitz will have the green light here, 3-1. Gavin Collins, decent speed at first. It's a 0-0 ball game in the bottom of the second inning. That 3-1 was not close. It's back-to-back. It's not back-to-back walks, There was a Gavin Collins single that turned into a runner interference sandwiched around those walks. But now Urquidy will pitch with 2 base runners on for the first time today. It'll come after a mound visit from the head coach, Scott Winterburn. So Brandon Garcia starts the game with a pretty hard shot to the third baseman for an out. Ben Jones struck out. Quinn Madden grounded out to second. Sean Pokerot begins this bottom of the second by grounding out to the second baseman. Hyatt walks out on the runner's interference on the batted ball to the right side from Gavin Collins. Collins is at first and now at second after the Joe Munitz walk. Eddie Gimbel will be the hitter for Lynchburg. Eddie Gimbel with 2 really outstanding defensive plays in Game 1 against Case Western last weekend. A diving play in the first inning with runners on, and then a catch at the fence that would have been extra bases and also scored a run later on in the game, I believe 4th or 5th inning. But those 2 plays alone are more than enough reason to keep giving Eddie Gimbel some chances, but he can swing it as well. Eddie Gimbel is a guy who the season numbers are not going to blow you away, but a competent hitter, a guy that really works on his game. And he's jumped right in there. Senior from Culpeper, Virginia. Played in 9 games last year as a junior, just had 1 hit. This season, he has 7 hits in 31 at-bats. It's a .226 batting average. Gimbel swings on the first pitch and fouls it away. The count is now 0-1. Gimbel has some postseason heroics earlier this year. It was back in late February. Eddie Gimbel was in the mix a bit. He had a key hit in a victory against Cortland. Eddie Gimbel had a key base hit in a win against Marietta. Quality opposition early for Lynchburg that has really paid off. If you remember early in the season for the Hornets, it was 5 of the first 6 opponents were ranked in the top 25. And so maybe that sets you up for success later on in the season. It's a Lynchburg season that has had some ups and downs, of course, as a baseball campaign will. Gavin Collins bouncing off at second. There's the 1-1 well wide of the zone. Eddie Gimbel holds on that, and now it's a 2-1 count for the senior. Joe Munitz leads off at first. First baseman Blank behind Munitz there. Infield pretty much straight up, with the exception of the second baseman kind of stationed towards the middle, keeping an eye on Gavin Collins. Outfield straight away. They've got Gimbel played slightly more shallow than what we would call average. Fastball in. Crowd comes alive because now it's a 3-1 count to Eddie Gimbel. O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, waiting on deck for Lynchburg, rounding out the batting order. There are 2 outs. We are in the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's a 3-1 count with 2 on, including Gavin Collins in scoring position at second base. Here's the 3-1 from Urquidy. Gimbel was on it, but sprays it to the right side foul, and now we'll have a full count delivery on the way. Runners will be on the move here. Number 27, Nico Urquidy. The story was that he wasn't even recruited by Verne. He just kind of showed up and said, yeah, I'm a baseball player. Let me show you what I got. It's worked out so far. Fastball just missed from Urquidy. That was a good pitch, but Eddie Gimbel lays off, and it's 3 walks in the inning. Verne fans are wondering what was wrong with that 3-2 pitch, but Eddie Gimbel seemed to know that it was not a strike. As he jogs down to first, bases are loaded. Full of Hornets here at the bottom of the 2nd with O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. Ivy has been really, really good the last few weeks. He was great early in the season. Little lull in the middle part of the year, but now he's back to swinging it. Excellent again. Ivy will watch an eye-line fastball go upstairs. Urquidy having trouble throwing strikes. It's a 1-0 count. He's walked 3 in the inning. Collins at third, Munitz at second, Gimbel at first. Outfield deep and straight away. O'Kelly McWilliams will get the bat off the shoulder but doesn't pull the trigger at the 1-0 fastball, and that's a strike. Infield is normal depth with the exception of the third baseman, who's just a step behind the bag, probably out of respect for O'Kelly McWilliams' speed, and he does have plenty of that. Here's the 1-1 from the lefty Urquidy. There's the big looping breaking ball, strike 2. Really tough to hit because it starts at your chin or perhaps even higher and then ends up basically where the catcher starts his mitt, maybe thigh high. 1-2 pitch, 2 outs. Here it comes to McWilliams. Low in the zone, strike 3. Called strike looking, tough pitch there from Urquidy, and he gets out of a jam. Hornets get the bases loaded, but they leave them loaded after 2 complete. It's still a 0-0 ball game between the Leopards and the Hornets in Game 1 of Super Regional action from Verne, California. Got to get some shout-outs going in the roll call. I know we've got folks listening, including the outstanding Director of Athletic Communications at the University of Lynchburg. That's Tim LaDuca. He's on a business trip himself with our guy Josh Smith and the Lynchburg Hornets track and field team. Got some folks competing in the Division III Nationals down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wonder what the weather is like down there in Myrtle Beach. The weather here at Laverne is interesting. We're in the low 60s right now, light breeze. We had that marine layer and then mist and fog, although scientifically the marine layer is not actually fog. We were doing our research on that, but do your own independent studies there. We don't have all game to talk about the weather conditions, but right now the rain has subsided. It's a decent day to play, but it definitely feels more like March rather than late May. 1-1 count as Arrington missed with the first pitch, but then came back with a hard fastball on the outer third. The hitter is Anthony Salcido. He's the second baseman. Foul ball, and it'll set up a 1-2 count to Salcido. 3 of 14 in the 4 games against the Trinity Tigers in their 2-team regional for Laverne. So Salcido a little bit cold there. He's made a couple good plays at second base. He'll shoot one to his counterpart. The second baseman, Ben Jones, has to handle a funny hop. Sidearm toss over to Eric Hyde at first base, and there's one in the books here in the top of the 3rd inning. Benny Vogel is a guy who was not cold in the series against Trinity. Overall, Vogel was 8 of 15. I believe there's 3 walks in there, and he scored 7 runs. And that was a high-scoring series, at least in the first 3 games for Laverne against Trinity. That was a 2-team regional. Fastball for strike 1, outer half from Wesley Arrington. Just going back to the Laverne Leopards here real quick. 30 wins on the season so far, and there were 3 of them in that 2-team regional against Laverne. Swing and a miss, and now it's an 0-2 count. They lost game 1, 18-9, so they still put up 9 runs, they being Laverne, but then they turned around and beat Trinity 15-6, 12-3, and then just a 1-0 game to clinch it and get into super regional play. The 0-2 from Arrington is low and away, probably by design, and now Benny Vogel hits with a 1-2 count. Ryan Vosica on deck. He also had a really good regional appearance against Trinity. We'll give you those numbers when he steps in just a moment. Ground ball back to Arrington. He'll have to field the position again. He does. Underhand soft toss to first base for the second out of the 3rd inning. Back-to-back times that Vogel is grounded out to Wesley Arrington. Arrington had Noah Garcia hit that ball hard right at him. So 3 plays Arrington has had to make. He's had to hustle over and cover one time as well. And then we'll bring up the shortstop Ryan Vosica hitting with none on. 2 outs, top of the 3rd. Vosica was 9 of 16 against Trinity in those 4 games. So the top of the order really got it done for Laverne, as they take 3 of 4 against the home team Tigers last weekend to book their spot in this super regional. Lynchburg, of course, beat Case Western Reserve twice. It was a game 1 win against Ithaca. 1-1 count as Arrington tried to go inside and missed. Gavin Collins is even with the bag at first. Rest of the infield normal configuration for Lynchburg. Outfield has Vosica played slightly the opposite way. That would be to right field for this right-handed hitting shortstop. Called strike 2 on a breaking ball. Arrington looks sharp to me. He surrendered 2 base hits. Just 2 hits for Laverne. Here comes the 1-2 from the 5th-year right-hander from Keswick. Down and in, good stop from Pokerock, but that's a ball. And now an even count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Matthew Diaz is on deck. Lynchburg will send up the top of the lineup in their half of the 3rd. Here's the 2-2. Inside and missed. So now the count is full for the Sheriff, Wesley Arrington. Nick Matfield, the expected starter in Game 2 tomorrow, and you got to win 2 out of 3, so we could have a doubleheader tomorrow. Vosica staying alive on a nasty ball down in the zone. And we will repeat another full count pitch coming up. Gavin Collins is backed up at third with 2 strikes. Here's the full count to Vosika. Shoots this ball into right. Quinn Madden is there. He'll make the catch. The top of the third is over. 3 up, 3 down inning. Arrington has sat down 7 Leopards in a row. Lynchburg still looking for their first run. It's a 0-0 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Lynchburg will have Brandon Garcia, the leadoff man, to start it. O'Kelly McWilliams took a low fastball for strike 3 to end the bottom of the 2nd. For Lynchburg, it's no runs on no hits just yet. 3 runners left on, 2 in scoring position. Those all 3 were in the bottom of the 2nd. For Laverne, no runs on 2 hits. The Leopards have left 2 on and in scoring position. Yeah, if you're really industrious and you want to try to sync up our audio with the video that's out there, you should give that a shot. This Laverne crew here, the entire staff, they have been working hard all weekend long. I guess we're only on Friday, so it's maybe not completely accurate to say they've been working hard all weekend long, but I think you know what I mean, fans. It's a 1-1 to Brandon Garcia. The at-bat is underway. There's the big breaking ball from Nico Urquidy. It's a breaking ball that, again, starts at your head as a hitter and ends up in the catcher's mitt. A lot of times for a strike, it's really hard to gauge where it's going to start and where it's going to end. And a lot of times the pitching term for that is depth. It has depth. It looks like it's starting from just so high up. And for Urquidy, it's an over-the-top arm angle, so it does actually start from probably above his head and above your own head as a hitter. Remember, the pitcher's on the mound that's at least 12 inches high. It looks like a big mound here at Laverne, so it might even be higher than that. Full count to Brandon Garcia. Laid off a nice pitch. Here comes the 3-2. That one's inside, and it's ball 4. And it's the 4th walk Lynchburg has taken as a team. We know that's part of their offensive program. I say it every game, because Lynchburg does seem to walk so much every single game. They came in with 275 in 48 games, and that equates to 5.73 per game. So just under 6 walks per game for Lynchburg as a team. And remember, they led the country in walks last year. They did the same thing in 2022. Brandon Garcia leaning but sliding back safely on a pickoff attempt from the lefty, Nico Urquidy. Does look to have a very good move to first that is going to keep the Lynchburg running game maybe not completely in check, but we'll say honest at least. Speaking of walks, here's Ben Jones. 0-0 count. He'll watch the first one go by just above the belt line for a called strike. Jones on the season has walked 47 times. That is 3rd in Division III baseball. By the way, Brandon Garcia coming into today was 15th in all of D3 baseball in walks. Typical great leadoff play from Hollywood, Brandon Garcia. Said Hollywood in Hollywood on the video yesterday, but not completely accurate. We're about an hour drive away from Hollywood, but you still get the vibes here in Southern California for sure. 1-1 count as Ben Jones watched that steep breaking ball go inside. Urquidy studying Garcia. He will not run. Called strike 2 on the outer third to Ben Jones. Looks to me just to be a 2-pitch mix right now from Urquidy. Just the fastball and then the big breaking ball. If he's mixed in some changeups, it's been hard for me to tell, which is maybe a compliment to his pitching. Here's the 1-2. Garcia running. Jones swinging, slashing this ball by the third base coach, Oscar Garcia, who was safely out of the way. And we will repeat the 1-2 delivery here in just a moment with Quinn Madden waiting on deck. Madden grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat. Ben Jones struck out. One of 2 strikeout victims from Urquidy. Urquidy is set just above the waist. Now he'll pick up and fire. Breaking ball up high. Oh, it hit Ben Jones. Just barely caught him on the forearm or wrist, it looked like. Ben Jones does not appear to be in any pain as he takes off the protective gear and jogs down to first base. Back-to-back innings with multiple runners on now for Lynchburg. It's their first hit-by pitch of the game. It will bring up Quinn Madden. 0 for 1 in this game. Quinn Madden, right now as a team, is 4th in Division III baseball in walks. That does not factor in any of today's action, and with most of the other teams playing on the East Coast, some of those games are probably already completed now. Super regional play in full effect. If it was basketball, we'd be calling this the Sweet 16 because there are 16 Division III teams left, and it will be down to 8 after this weekend. Those 8 teams will head to East Lake, Ohio for the D3 World Series, even though that's not actually the term that the NCAA prefers. Quinn Madden maybe bunting here with nobody out. No, it's a hit and run. Both runners took off. Madden, ground ball to the second baseman who was ready for that. Salcido throws to first base to retire Quinn Madden. So Madden shows a bunt on the first one. Then Lynchburg puts the hit and run on. That will advance the runners to second and third. And that's a great way to use that hit and run, baseball fans, as kind of an offensive weapon and kind of a more aggressive sacrifice bunt. Yeah, you can just put down the sack bunt, and there's a lot of value in that, forcing a team to field a bunt. We've seen Lynchburg do that quite a bit this year. But you put the runners in motion there, then go with the hit and run. Here comes the 0-0 to Sean Pokerock. Oh, he's been hit by a pitch. That was a breaking ball that started inside and then just caught Sean Pokerock what it looked like on the left glute there. So really for Nico Urquidy, unfortunately for him, you have to say it's control issues. He has walked 4. We're in the bottom of the third. He's walked 4 and hit 2. And he's only faced 13 hitters so far. So those numbers are not good right now for Laverne. And that's part of the reason why they have sent some relievers to get busy in their bullpen. Laverne is in the dugout to our right down the first base line. Lynchburg in the dugout to our left. That is still the visitors' dugout here at Laverne. So even though the Leopards are the visiting team in this game, they are still in their customary home dugout. The concession stand vibe is really cool here at Laverne. It's just a tent that apparently the parents run, but they've got, as you would expect in Southern California, some great tacos over there with some homemade salsa to enjoy. It's perfect. Perfect situation here for Lynchburg. Base is loaded again. Back-to-back innings they've done this, and it's Eric Hyatt. Eric Hyatt knows this situation. He's the team leader in sacrifice flies. Here's the 0-0 from Urquidy. Got that breaking ball over for called strike 1. On the season, Hyatt has 6 sac flies. Eric Hyatt has driven in 32. He is very comfortable in this spot, and he knows the key here is to stay out of the double play with the bases loaded. The 0-1, Hyatt swings and fouls it away over the Laverne dugout. So now Eric Hyatt's in an 0-2 hole. Credit Nico Urquidy for bouncing back here. In this inning, he's walked 1 and hit 2. Garcia's at third, Jones is at second, Pokerock at first for Lynchburg. First baseman not holding Sean Pokeraki's way off the line. Here comes the 0-2. Down for called strike 3. Looked like Eric Hyatt knew it. Bottom rail fastball that Eric Hyatt could not pull the trigger on. Third strikeout of the game for Urquidy, 2 looking. Here's Gavin Collins. Collins hit the ball hard to the right side that hit Eric Hyatt in his first at-bat. That came in the second inning. So Collins did reach base on that. Bases loaded for Gavin Collins. 4-year starter who we were estimating, and maybe we'll try to dig deep and get the official number tonight back at the hotel in our research session. We think Gavin Collins has played in 40-plus playoff games, 40-plus postseason games for this 4-year starter. Hits with an 0-1 count. Here it comes from Urquidy. Called strike 2. So I said it was control problems for Urquidy. He seems to have quickly remedied those, and he is really going right after these Lynchburg hitters with 5 straight strikes now. Hyatt struck out. I think it's 6 straight strikes, actually. Hyatt fouled one off. Here's the 0-2. Eye-line fastball for ball 1. And that might have been by design. Urquidy may have really hit the bullseye on the spot, right where he wanted it. 1-2 delivery coming up to Gavin Collins. Hitting with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball inside. Collins barely staying alive. Just barely got a piece of that. Good battle there from Gavin Collins. You're still trying to get used to the umpire strike zone. That could be part of the reason why Lynchburg has struck out looking a couple times. Also, you got to give the pitcher, Nico Urquidy, a lot of credit in that equation. Another 1-2 on the way. Urquidy winds, fires. That ball is inside for ball 2. Urquidy pitching out of the stretch, set position, even with no runners on base. And right now, Lynchburg has 3. Every base occupied with the Hornets. 2-2 with 2 outs in a 0-0 ball game. Urquidy pitches. Collins sends this ball deep to center field, but there's room to make the grab from Matthew Diaz. Good catch by Diaz to get turned around and sprint back. Caught that ball about 4 feet shy of the warning track. So Gavin Collins hit it hard, but he couldn't get it by the perimeter defenses, and it's still a 0-0 ball game through 3 complete at Ben Hines Field in Laverne, California. All right, more shout-outs to come here, but I got to get a shout-out on my great friend Jack Husted, who is listening in Southern California. Yeah, Jack is a South Pasadena guy who grew up in Virginia, so he's got a great perspective. You know, he understands both fans' perspective here, and this is great. Jack and I got to do some exploration of the San Gabriel Mountains yesterday and talked in depth about the marine layer and a multitude of other topics, but Jack Husted is tuned in, and so many other folks are. I know we got Ryan Turner, the brand new University of Lynchburg men's volleyball coach. He's listening, and we'll get to quite a few more as well as the day goes on. We do have a good contingent here in person for the University of Lynchburg. Hornets always travel well, and even when you're crossing time zones and coasts, the Lynchburg fans are going to show up and show out. Lynchburg got the bases loaded again in the bottom of the 3rd. I say again because they did that in the 2nd inning as well. Can't get any across, so it's still a 0-0 ball game in the top of the 4th. Wesley Arrington working with a 2-0 count. His first pitch was well low. The second one a better location, but still called a ball. And the hitter is the center fielder, Matthew Diaz. Matthew Diaz will take strike one. On deck is Logan Reese, the right fielder, who has one of 2 hits for Laverne. Leopards still scoreless, of course. Arrington has retired 7 in a row. Sheriff looks over his front shoulder, now deals off a 2-1 fastball that is fouled away by Matthew Diaz. Diaz just 3 hits in the 4 games in regional play against Trinity, but he did homer one time. And Matthew Diaz is a guy with some juice. It looks like 67 hits on the season for Matthew Diaz. Good location from Wesley Arrington on the 2-2, but that's off the plate for ball 3. Full count coming. Arrington has not walked any yet. This is the 12th hitter that Arrington has faced. Second time through the lineup for the Laverne Leopards. Here comes the full count delivery. This ball lifted into right field. Quinn Madden will line that up. Now charging on. He'll drop into a jog and make a routine grab for out number 1 of the inning. This is number 41, the right fielder, Logan Reese. I mentioned a single for him already. It was a soft single in the top of the first inning. Laverne got 2 on, but left those 2 runners stranded in scoring position. Logan Reese on the season, a .364 hitter. He is the team leader in home runs with 5. A couple other players with 3. And just for comparison, Lynchburg's team leader is Quinn Madden with 11 home runs. Gavin Collins has 7. And then Sean Pokerock and Riley O'Donovan, the 2 Lynchburg catchers, both with 5 home runs. Lynchburg, as a team, has left the yard this season 43 times. Compare that to Laverne, just 16 total home runs for this Leopard squad. So Lynchburg using the long ball a bit more. 2-0 count to Logan Reese. Now 2-1 as Arrington throws a dot low inside portion of the strike zone. The way the ball travels here at Ben Hines Field was a topic of conversation. I think the typical prevailing wind direction is sometimes out of the San Gabriel Mountains to the north, and that would be blowing in here towards the hitter. So that probably hurts sometimes. Sometimes the humidity and the dew point and all those things can affect the way the ball travels. Wesley Arrington has issued his first free pass as Logan Reese will watch one go wide right, and he'll jog down to first base. So the run of Arrington batters retired in a row will end at 8. Logan Reese is on for the second time today. Nathan Perry is the Laverne catcher. Flew out to left field in his first at bat. Nathan Perry hits .367 on the season. He has 3 home runs. First pitch swing, and Perry will come up empty on an Arrington slider. Lynchburg infield into double play depth, although as I so often note, that double play depth for Lynchburg infielders is slightly normal than probably the traditional double play depth. Ground ball, left side. Gavin Collins has it. He'll go to second for the first one. Ben Jones with the turn for the second. Oh, yeah, it's tic-tac-toe around the diamond for the Lynchburg infield. They have turned another double play, and the Hornets out of the top of the 4th inning unscathed. It's a 0-0 ball game between the Leopards and the Hornets in Super Regional action. Game 1 from Laverne, California. Nico Urquidy is back to the mound here to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. Lynchburg turning a double play in the top of the fourth to get out of that. 5-4-3 variety there as Gavin Collins threw it to Ben Jones at second. Fast turn to get Nathan Perry at first. Lynchburg led the country in double plays last year, 51 in 46 games. 51 in 56 games last year, rather. So this year, the double play stat says it's a 1-0 count on Joe Munitz. Now 1-1, the fastball from Urquidy. Double plays this season for Lynchburg. They've now turned 35 in this being their 49th game. So the per-game numbers are down a little bit, but in this playoff run, Lynchburg's infield has turned some really key double plays, and I'll throw that one right in there for the Hornets. Called strike two, and the first-year man, Joe Munitz, hitting now with a 1-2 count. None on, none out in the bottom of the fourth inning for Lynchburg. Urquidy looking in for the sign. He'll lift the right leg, throw with the left arm. Munitz is under this one, sky high down the right field line. Second baseman calling for it. That's Anthony Salcido that will make the grab for the first out of the inning. So Urquidy, he pitched Saturday against Trinity in regional play. It was 6 1/3 innings there, and he only gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, did walk 6, and struck out 5. So the control has been really the only problem for Urquidy today. He's pitched out of some jams. In fact, Lynchburg has left the bases loaded in the last 2 consecutive innings. So, for Lynchburg, statistically, that's hard to say. It shouldn't be. But statistically, it's 6 left on, 4 of those in scoring position. Lynchburg did go 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Eddie Gimbel takes a called strike. Here's the 0-1 breaking ball inside to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. O'Kelly McWilliams is on deck. He's one of 3 strikeout victims today. Urquidy has walked 4 and hit 2. Eddie Gimbel, hands high, behind his head there with the white batting gloves. A little bit of bat movement. Now he'll look at another breaking ball. This one is a called strike. It's another big, steep curveball that starts about at the letters for Gimbel and then ends up the catcher catching it right around his back knee. Urquidy, does he go to that again or maybe back to the fastball? He's set and ready to fire. The 1-2 swung through by Eddie Gimbel. Strikeout. 4 punch-outs in the game now for Urquidy. Noteworthy here from the Verne Leopards, the catcher did not throw it around on the strikeout. That's a baseball standard there. When you get a strikeout with nobody on base, the catcher will come up and fire it around. Let the infielders keep the arm loose, keep the feet moving. Plus, it just looks good. But Laverne did not do it. So that's okay. Just, again, always something noteworthy. That's why it's fun to watch a lot of baseball and watch different teams. You see unique things, something different every game. Every game presents something different. 1-0 count to O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. IV will drop down a base hit bunt. This is a good one, but it will roll foul. It went from the grass line to the dirt base path down the third base line, and that gave it the momentum to then roll foul. Third baseman Aiden Salcido was wise to let that one go foul because with IV's speed and the placement of that bunt, it was going to be a tough out at first for the Laverne third baseman. It's a 1-1 count now for O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. And a reminder about the nickname, Ivy, short for the Roman numerals, IV, O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. I think it's one of the great nicknames. It's so simple. And the IV kind of gets rolled into Ivy, like you'd have the ivy on the outfield walls at Wrigley Field or somewhere. Ivy's got a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Urquidy. Breaking ball. Ivy puts that in play. Tough one for the shortstop here, who will come on and make a strong throw to retire O'Kelly McWilliams. That was Ryan Vosica charging hard and throwing accurately for the final out of the 4th inning. That's a 3 up, 3 down inning for Lynchburg, and we're still deadlocked at 0. Donuts for each squad so far through the first 4 in Game 1 of NCAA Super Regional action. Top five getting set to get underway. It'll be Noah Garcia, the first baseman, leading off. This is 6, 7, 8 in the batting order for Laverne. Garcia, Aiden Salcido, and then Jason Givens. Still facing the Sheriff, Wesley Arrington. He's gone complete games in his last 2 starts. No reason not to think Wesley Arrington's feeling great here in this one. For Laverne, it's no runs on 2 hits. Arrington has walked 1. 0 strikeouts yet for the Sheriff, which is slightly uncommon and maybe says something about the quality of this Laverne lineup. Noah Garcia is a left-handed hitter. He hit the ball hard right at Wesley Arrington that he fended off with his glove and then picked up and threw to first. It was a slightly scary situation in Garcia's first at bat. That was the top of the 2nd inning. We're now in the top of the 5th. Close miss from Arrington, and now the count is 2-1. Sean Pokerock confirming with the umpire about the location of that ball 2 pitch. And now Arrington set just above the waist. He'll kick and fire the 2-1. That's a called strike, and now the count is 2-2. So I said we were about an hour and 15 minutes east of Hollywood and what folks might consider Los Angeles proper. We are in Los Angeles County. Ground ball up the middle again. That one went by Arrington's shoe tops and then got past the diving shortstop Brandon Garcia. That's a base hit for Noah Garcia. And that is hit number 3 for Laverne. They've got a base runner on again. Lynchburg turning a double play to get out of the 4th inning. Hornets could use something like that perhaps again here. We'll see. The hitter is Aiden Salcido. Third baseman grounded out to the third baseman in his first at bat. But yeah, we're in what they call the Inland Empire. You've got Laverne, you've got Pomona, the famous drag strip is right down the street. You've got Ontario, which is where the team is staying. Bunt to Collins. Smooth throw on the run. Gavin Collins will get another one there. Great job to sprint on and make the play. Gavin Collins has gotten the first out of the 5th inning. Yeah, it's a really neat area. And how about this geography? The University of Laverne to the University of Lynchburg, according to the internet, is 2,457 miles apart. So it's a 2,000-mile journey for Lynchburg and their fans to be here, and we are glad that we are here. We're glad you're listening. I know the Gerke family's got us tuned in. Superfan Bill Gerke, certified superfan. He was wearing his Lynchburg sweatshirt at the Old Dominion Athletic Conference tournament, which was in Northern Virginia, Tyson's Corner, Capital One Park. Sounds like the ODAC tournament's going to be there for a few years to come. Can't wait. 0-1 count to Jason Givens. Here comes the pitch, and it's a called strike. Wes Arrington went with the breaking ball to this left-handed left fielder, Jason Givens, for the University of Laverne. He's hitting with 1 out and a runner on second. That's Noah Garcia, who got the leadoff single. Second time today that the Leopards have gotten a runner in scoring position. Arrington checks that runner, now fires. This ball escaped Sean Pokerock's grasp. It got under his glove and then between his legs, nearly went to the backstop. Pokey ran it down, but it will be a pass ball, and the runner will advance to third. So the Leopards now have a runner on third for the 2nd time this game. In a 0-0 ball game, every pitch is important. Every play is important. Sean Pokerock would love to have that one back, but no damage just yet, at least on the scoreboard anyway. As Arrington's got a 1-2 count against Jason Givens. Left-handed swinger grounded out to the shortstop in his first at bat. Lynchburg will pull the infield in. Here comes the 1-2 from Arrington. Good location. Givens can just slash at this and foul it away. It'll go into the Lynchburg bullpen. Anthony Salcido is on deck. There's Aiden and Anthony, so need to be a bit more specific there. Wesley Arrington on the season has struck out 89. No punch-outs yet in this ball game. This would be a great spot to get one here with a runner on third and 1 out. Ready, aim, fire from Arrington. He will get a strikeout. The Sheriff went with a high heater there that Givens could not catch up to. And that's a good get and a big out. There's 2 down in the top of the 5th inning. Here's Anthony Salcido, grounded out to the second baseman in his first at bat. Mentioned he was a little bit cold in the 4 games against Trinity in regional play. Salcido 3 of 14 there, so with the ground out, he's now 3 for his last 15. Arrington looks in and fires. Breaking ball, inner portion of the plate for strike 1. Anthony Salcido on the season is hitting .274. Arrington set, eyes the target. Pitches, check swing. This is going to be a tough play. Left side, Collins will pick it up. He'll scoop and throw quickly, and they got him at first by half a step. Arrington nearly went to pick that ball up, but I think Gavin Collins called him away from it, picked it up, and then the catch and throw was very quick. A grab and go again from Gavin Collins. 2 good plays in the inning from Gavin Collins, and we are still scoreless. 0-0 ball game through 4.5 between Lynchburg and Laverne. Gavin Collins, so smooth. He's just as smooth as lotion out there. And when you're on the road, you got to eat on the run. A couple quick Gavin Collins grab and goes in that inning. Fielded a sacrifice bunt from Aiden Salcido to get the first out of the inning for Lynchburg. Garcia was on second at that point. It was a big strikeout from Wesley Arrington to punch out Jason Givens. And then another smooth Gavin Collins play to come on and get Anthony Salcido at first by half a step. And let's not forget, Gavin Collins started that double play that got Lynchburg out of the 4th inning. We are now in the bottom of the 5th. It's Brandon Garcia, the leadoff man, stepping back up for his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Garcia, line drive out to the third baseman, his first at bat, walked in his 2nd plate appearance, and Garcia actually has led off 3 separate innings for Lynchburg. Sometimes your leadoff guy only gets to start the 1st, but this is actually the 3rd inning that Brandon Garcia has been the opening batter in the attack for the Lynchburg Hornets offense, which has been really good this year. They're scoring more runs than they did last year in the national championship campaign. Bouncing ball up the middle. Salcido on the run. They'll get Garcia at first. Nice play by Noah Garcia, the first baseman for Laverne, to dig that one out on a short hop. There's one down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. For Laverne, it's no runs on 3 hits. They have now left 3 on, all 3 in scoring position for the Leopards. So they've had a few little brief chances, a few little glimmers of hope. But overall, Wesley Arrington has been rock solid. And we can officially say we're in a pitcher's duel again. A 0-0 ball game in the top of the 5th. Great pitching in postseason play, not just with these 2 teams, but really all around the Division III landscape. I always say I think the conventional thought is that offenses are going to be geared up at this stage in the year. You've been seeing live pitching. Your swing is honed. You're locked in as a hitter. It doesn't mean the pitchers can't turn the tables on you. 1-1 count as Urquidy throws a little bullseye on the outer black. And now here's Ben Jones hitting with a 1-1 configuration on the scoreboard. There is 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Urquidy winds and deals. Ground ball right side from Jones. Went right over the bag at first. Ben Jones is arguing that was a foul ball to no avail, and that's the 2nd out of the bottom of the 5th inning. Yeah, look from my angle that it did just go right over the first base bag. And the first baseman, Noah Garcia, with a good play to scoop and step on the first sack for the 2nd out of the 5th inning. Here's Quinn Madden. He's grounded out to the second baseman twice in this ball game. Lynchberg with just one base hit. Madden swings at the first pitch. Breaking ball, left side. Long throw there, and it's a high throw. Quinn Madden's going to turn and go to second. Laverne's going to have a play there. They'll throw in and get Madden slid in feet first. That was the first baseman, Noah Garcia. The throw was high, but he immediately went to the fence line in foul territory, picked that ball up, and then threw to second to Ryan Vosica for the out. We'll stay here for just a moment because the head coach for Lynchburg, Travis Beasley, is going to go out and ask if perhaps there was some interference there as Quinn Madden took the turn to second. Did he perhaps bump into one of the fielders? Saw this situation at Case Western. Nothing happened. And the umpires will get together here and at least talk about it. This is very reminiscent of what happened. The roles were reversed there. It was Lynchburg getting the out defensively as the runner tried to turn for second. And it was Case Western arguing that perhaps their runner was interfered with. But right now we're going to put it down as it's an error on the third baseman and then a 3-6 put out to get Quinn Madden. Call has been confirmed, so we will move to the top of the sixth inning. That was a 3-up, 3-down fifth inning. And now Nico Urquidy struggled with control for a bit, but he has actually retired 8 Hornets in a row at this point. We've got a defensive change for Lynchburg to report. It's Josh Jorman heading to first base. This is a substitution pattern that has become pretty familiar here in the postseason. Eric Hyatt will start the game, get 2 or 3 at-bats, and then Josh Jorman moves in to play first. Jorman more than capable doing it with the bat as well as the glove. Remember, Josh Jorman scored the winning run in Lynchburg's walk-off victory in Game 3 of the regional tournament against Case Western. A double to get in scoring position. Then he came around to score on the Joe Munitz fielder's choice play that ended the game at 6-5 in the bottom of the ninth for Lynchburg last weekend in Cleveland. So we'll just keep it right here in between the end of the fifth and the start of the sixth. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, our audio-only broadcast. It's been fun so far, and it, again, has been a straight-up pitcher's duel so far. Lynchburg has just 1 hit. 2 hits. I'm wrong again, fans. Let's see. Did they call that Quinn Madden ball there a hit? I guess they did. Guess they ruled that was an infield single, and then Madden thrown out trying to advance to second on the high throw. Interesting way to look at that. I mean, Aiden Salcido, the third baseman, got to that ball, I thought, pretty quickly. I think a good throw gets Quinn Madden. But back to the old determination on the hit or an error. Was there ordinary effort involved? That's up for debate. So don't hate the call there from our official scorer to maybe call that one an infield single from Quinn Madden. Madden's batting average certainly won't mind. Arrington has missed the zone for the first 2 pitches here on the leadoff man, Benny Vogel. The junior has grounded out to first and then also grounded out to Wesley Arrington. Vogel was the guy that was 8 for 15 in the 4 games against Trinity, scored 7 runs. First 3 games in that 2-team regional series were high scoring. Trinity took game 1, 18-19. Then the Laverne Leopards offense really came alive in games 2 and 3, and they won game 4, 1-0 on a walk-off. 4-pitch walk, as Wesley Arrington really wasn't close on the last one. Arrington had 1 walk previously, so it's 2 in the game now for the Laverne offense. No activity in the Lynchburg bullpen just yet. We are in the top of the 6th inning. 1 on, none out for Ryan Vosica, who had 9 hits in those 4 games against Trinity. Vosica had the first base hit today for Laverne. Leopards have 3 total, and he's showing sack bunt right now. Vosica squared around early. That was something in the scouting report for Lynchburg that they talked about with their pitchers and defense. Laverne will sacrifice bunt with regularity. And in a 0-0 ball game in the playoffs, that's probably the play I think that's expected right here. Arrington has not thrown a pitch yet. A couple pickoff attempts to get Benny Vogel back to first base on a dive. Vosica's got the bunt shown again. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball upstairs. 1-0 count. As Wesley Arrington, the starting pitcher for Lynchburg, has been very good. Verne has 3 hits, 3 runners left on, all 3 of those in scoring position, 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th. Here's the pitch to Vosika. He will get down the sacrifice bunt. Josh Jorman will have to come off. He'll turn and flip to the second baseman, Ben Jones, who is hustling over to cover the bag. That's out number 1 in the inning. A successful sac bunt executed by Ryan Vosika. Gets a runner in scoring position for the Laverne Leopards, who are the host school but not the home team in Game 1. Lynchburg is the home squad via winning a coin flip. Lynchburg will be the visiting team tomorrow, and then the Hornets will turn around and be the home team if there is an, if necessary, Game 3. Fastball misses. It's a 1-0 count. The hitter is Matthew Diaz. He's flown out to center. He's flown out to right. Matthew Diaz is second on the team, an average at .383 coming in to the series. Keeps the hands a little bit lower, has the bat wiggling, kind of a vertical bat, sort of straight up. Ready for the 1-0. He won't get it yet as Arrington will spin and throw to Ben Jones, who slid over to cover second. The runner there is Benny Vogel. Benny Vogel on the season. This is just start number 8, so he is a guy that's really come on strong. The 1-0 swung through from Matthew Diaz, and now it's a 1-ball-1-strike count with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Lynchburg will send up 4, 5, 6 to bat in their half of the 6th inning. Pokerock, Jormund, and Gavin Collins. 1-1 from Arrington is a called strike at the knees, inside portion of the plate. See what Wes Arrington goes with here with a 1-2 count. Again, the hard fastball and the slider are the primary pitches for Arrington, but the list does not end there. West checks the runner. Now kicks and deals. Ooh. Looked like Matthew Diaz took a sniff, but not a full bite at that one, and that is ball 2. Logan Reese waits on deck. Logan Reese is 1 for 1 with a walk in this game for the Laverne Leopards. Arrington looks over the left shoulder. Now it's ready, aim, fire time. The pitch. This ball sprayed into right. That's down for a base hit. Quinn Madden will pick it up. Runners turning around third. No play at home. And Laverne has taken the first lead of the contest. Benny Vogel scampers around to score on the backside base hit from Matthew Diaz. Good piece of 2-out hitting. The Laverne Tigers have really shown a propensity to do that. When they get 2 strikes, they're really looking to send the ball the other way. A lot of times it's a quieter approach at the plate. They just kind of throw the hands at the ball with 2 strikes, and it appears to be working right now anyway, as Laverne has jumped out to a 1-0 advantage here in the top of the 6th inning. Threat still on with Logan Reese. Good pickoff attempt at first. Josh Jorman kind of got rolled up as the runner. Matthew Diaz dove back to the bag. Still no count on Logan Reese. Walked in his last plate appearance. Got a bloop single the first time up. That was in the first inning. Arrington will jump spin, throwing to first. The ball popped out of the mitt for Josh Jorman, but didn't go anywhere. Mound visit coming up as assistant coach Michael Solbach will take a slow stroll out of the Lynchburg dugout. He wants to chat with the starting pitcher, Wesley Arrington, who all of a sudden finds himself pitching from a 1-0 deficit. Both teams did not score through the first 5 complete, but Benny Vogel walked. Sacrifice bunt from Ryan Vosika to get him into scoring position, and then Vogel did score on the 2-strike Matthew Diaz single down the right field line. Quinn Madden got to the ball pretty quickly, but he was fairly deep in right field and on the boundary foul line there. He did not have a chance to come up and throw home, but I thought Madden did well to get the ball in quickly and keep Matthew Diaz at first. It could have been a hustle double situation for Diaz, and he was forced to stay at the first bag. Logan Reese wears number 41 and plays right field for the Laverne Leopards. He'll wait on the 0-0 as Wes Arrington throws over to first again. Logan Reese, right-handed hitting junior from Palmdale, California. Arrington will finally deliver the 0-0. That's low for ball one. For Logan Reese, he's a guy that's collected 145 hits now in his career. Just his third full season as well. So he's put together a great collegiate resume so far. 39 hits his first year in 2022, 58 last season, 48 so far this year. Logan Reese has 9 career home runs. It's 5 this year and 4 last season. I think you can hear a little bit of that wind on the microphone. It has started to pick up. It does appear to be blowing out to right field here at Ben Hines Field in Laverne, California. Wes Arrington has missed the zone again with a breaking ball, and now it's a 3-0 count on a very dangerous hitter. Arrington has walked 1 in the inning, given up 1 single. There's a sacrifice bunt in there. That's the only out of the top of the 6th so far. Much better pitch from Arrington, but also missed the zone. That's walk number 3 of the game and walk number 2 of the inning. There is activity in the Lynchburg bullpen. I think the Hornets would prefer to let Arrington kind of self-organize and figure this thing out himself. And if you're Wesley Arrington, your last 2 postseason appearances have been complete games. 1 a no-hitter against Randolph-Macon. He's earned the right to stay in the game and try to figure this out, assuming his arm feels good, and I'm sure that was one of the first questions that Michael Solbach asked on the way out. Slider just off the plate outside for ball 1. So Arrington has thrown 5 straight balls after the Diaz bloop single. Matthew Diaz is on second right now for Laverne. Logan Reese leading off at first. There's a called strike 1, and now it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with 1 out. And if you're a pitcher, the thought process and the phrase that you will hear in this situation is you're just 1 pitch away. You're just another ground ball double play away from being out of the inning. And here it is, ground ball to Brandon Garcia. He'll flip to Jones for the first. It is another Lynchburg double play. Right on cue, the Hornets twist one up the middle, 2 for the price of 1 ball, but Laverne has struck first. The Leopards lead 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. All right, Kyle Hoehne back with you, baseball fans. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's now a 1-run deficit for Lynchburg. They trail 1-0. Verne with a hit and a couple walks in the top of the 6th inning. Benny Vogel, a leadoff walk. He scored the run. It was an RBI single down the right field line for Matthew Diaz. And then Lynchburg, right on cue, turning one of the patented double plays. Lynchburg has turned 2 of those in this game. And you have to say that double play really limited the damage. The first double play got Lynchburg out of the 4th inning. This double play gets them out of the 6th inning and keeps the Hornets' offense very much within striking distance. The leadoff hitter is Sean Pokerock, batting with a 1-1 count. Starting pitcher Nico Urquido still out for Verne. His first-year man has impressed. Urquido, 97 strikeouts coming into the game. It's good for 11th in Division III baseball. He's got a 1-2 count on Sean Pokerock now. The catcher leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for Lynchburg. So, yeah, the phrase for the pitchers is you're just one pitch away from being out of the inning. And that was exactly the case for Wes Arrington. Got a ground ball to the shortstop, Brandon Garcia, who caught it. Smooth flip to his high school teammate, Ben Jones. The Batman and Robin Caped Crusader duo does it again. A good stretch at first base by Josh Jorman. And Lynchburg's out of the inning. And so the other phrase you'll hear after surrendering 1 run and falling into a 1-0 lead, as Sean Pokerock skies one to left center. Long run there, but the left fielder will come on and make the catch. Jason Givens with the grab there for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. But the other phrase you hear in that situation is, hey, we had to score 1 run anyway to win the game. You got to score to win the game. That's what baseball players will say. And, of course, it makes sense because yes, you you can't win the game 0-0. There's no tiebreaker rules. So, as an offense, that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, we were going to score a run anyway, so now the run will just tie us up. And that's a way to keep your confidence when you do fall down in a ball game. And it's back to the old baseball adages of 1 run shouldn't beat you. A single run should not beat you. It's the multi-run innings where a team scores 2, 3, 4, or more. That's when you get in trouble as a ball club. But you should be able to leak a single run here or there and still have a good fighting chance when the game is all said and done. And it's a fast-moving game. I mean, we're in the bottom of the 6th. So if you're Lynchburg offensively, you're not going to get a ton more chances as Josh Jorman fouls the ball away. With 1 out, it'll now be a 1-2 count on the left-handed hitting 5th-year man, Josh Jorman. A double in Lynchburg's game 3 of the region tournament. It was actually game 6 of the entire tournament. Jorman, left-on-left matchup. Here it comes from Urquido. That ball is up and away for ball 2. Jorman was the team leader in average last year. Had the postseason cut short due to injury. He's missed a couple postseasons because of injury, but now enjoying his time playing postseason baseball, and he has been a factor. Very impactful for this team. Jorman will spray one down the left field line. It's foul, and we'll try a 2-2 delivery again. Josh Jorman this season, the numbers aren't going to jump off the page at you offensively. He hits .214. He's played now in 41 games, only 17 starts. Josh Jorman has done extensive work on the mound, 13 appearances as a pitcher. Here's the 2-2. Off the plate and low for ball 3. Josh Jorman last year had the batting average north of .390 before the season was ended due to the injury. Urquido looks in. Got the sign ready. Full count delivery to Jorman. Slices one up the middle. Good piece of hitting there for Josh Jorman. He didn't try to do too much with 2 strikes. And Lynchburg has a base runner with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pretty impressive there, I think, from Josh Jorman. Fouled a 2-strike delivery off and then got one that he could really sink his teeth into. Pumped it up the middle. For Josh Jorman, that's hit number 10 on the season. Here's Gavin Collins. Flew out to deep center in his first at-bat and did reach on that weird base hit. It was a base hit, a ball that hit off Eric Hyatt's foot. It was going to be a clean single anyway. Breaking ball, strike one. Back to that breaking ball from Nico Urquido. It is an off-speed pitch. It is a 12-6 curveball, and remember, when you use that analogy, you're talking about the clock face. It has top spin that takes it from the 12 o'clock position down to 6. Tried it again and missed that time. For Nico Urquido, a left-hander, from his perspective, the break might be more accurately described as 11 down to 5, or even 11:30 down to 5:30 if you want to get ultra specific. Here's the 1-1. Collins will study that. Doesn't lift the bat off the shoulder, and now the count is 1-2. Nico Urquido, just a first-year man, by the way. Really great numbers. Not just in the strikeout department, but that's the one that really catches your attention. Let's see if Gavin Collins can catch something here with a 1-2 count. That ball's off the plate for ball 2. On deck is Joe Munitz. Munitz has walked and flown out to right. Josh Jorman leads off at first base for Lynchburg. A potential threat to run, Josh Jorman with pretty good wheels. Watches the pitcher Urquido as he comes set. Now the 2-2. Gavin Collins sends this into right field, well within catching distance for Logan Reese. Reese pulls it out of the sky for the second out of the inning. And it will bring up Joe Munitz. I think the date for Joe Munitz was March 20th. Basically, after that point, he has been a fixture in the starting lineup for this ball club. Joe Munitz, team average leader at 358. 38 base hits on the year for Joe Munitz in 106 at-bats. He's walked 15 times and struck out only 10. So another guy, as Munitz slashes at the first and fouls it straight back. But another guy for Lynchburg with more walks than strikeouts. And as a hitter, that's pretty incredible. You got Brandon Garcia, who's got 41 walks to only 21 strikeouts. Ben Jones, 47 walks to 28 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 to Munitz. Oh, that was a breaking ball that was very close. Called ball. It's another zone from our umpire, much like the regional zone, perhaps a bit tighter than the regular season strike zone. Just a bit smaller. And again, even with that smaller zone, it's not exactly hitter-friendly. Pitchers have been really going after it today. Urquido will throw over to first. Josh Jorman back safely on a head-first dive. 1-1 count to Joe Munitz. This is game 1, super regional action between the Laverne Leopards and the Lynchburg Hornets. Joe Munitz pushing this ball in the right field corner. What a grab by Logan Reese. A diving catch to take extra bases away and probably maintain the lead for Laverne. Logan Reese, a full sprint about 25 or 30 yards away from his original starting position on a ball that Joe Munitz hit well, but the catch is made and the inning is over. Laverne with some snazzy defense of their own to hold on to the 1-0 lead. Leopards on top through 6 complete in game 1. All right, we're coming back with Noah Garcia leading it off for the Laverne Leopards in their half of the 7th inning. Laverne leads 1-0. And that lead staying at 1-0 thanks in large part to a diving catch from Logan Reese down the right field line to take extra bases away from Joe Munitz. Josh Jorman was on first for Lynchburg with a base hit, their third of the ball game. Actually, scoreboard now saying 2, so we may have had a score adjustment there for Lynchburg. But anyway, Josh Jorman with a clean single. He was on first and really would have been a threat to score on that batted ball from Joe Munitz. But it's not to be for Lynchburg as they trail 1-0 here in the top of the seventh, excuse me, not the first, top of the seventh. Lynchburg's 33-15, by the way, and it's an unblemished 8-0 run in postseason play. For Lynchburg, 2 wins in the postseason against Bridgewater, the no-hitter against Randolph-Macon in the ODAC Final Four, 2 wins against Roanoke there, that gets you up to 5, and then 3 wins last week at the Cleveland Regional, including 2 against the host school, Case Western. Jam job, right side. Josh Jorman's going to flip to Wes Arrington, who is covering. Lynchburg gets the out there. Noah Garcia retired. Good location on the pitch there from Arrington. That was that handcuff. That was that ball that the hitter, it seems like it's more over the middle part of the plate, or at least inner half, and then all of a sudden it's in on his hands. You get jammed. Never a fun feeling as a hitter. Aiden Salcido is grounded out twice. One was a sacrifice bunt, actually, to Gavin Collins. Called strike 1. Salcido didn't agree, but he'll hit from an 0-1 hole with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Laverne leading 1-0. Arrington still on the mound for Lynchburg. His defense has turned 2 double plays behind him. That's limited the damage. Arrington has walked 3. 1 strikeout for Wes. It's typically big strikeout numbers for the Sheriff, Wes Arrington. On the season, Arrington has 90 punch-outs now. Back to the quality of this Laverne lineup. They've got a good 2-strike hitting approach. They've got a good approach with less than 2 strikes, too, but the 2-strike approach has stood out to me quite a bit. They do their best to make the defense work and make the pitcher earn it. They're not going to go down easily. It's a 1-2 count as Arrington will peel one off to Salcido. This ball's lifted in the center field. O'Kelly McWilliams broke back. Now he'll come in, watches it, and it's a relatively routine grab in mid-center field for O'Kelly McWilliams IV. 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. The hitter will be Jason Givens. He's actually the only Leopard that has struck out against Wesley Arrington. Givens is a left-handed hitting left fielder, grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat. Jason Givens on the season hits .363. This one wide left from our perspective, wide right from Arrington's, and it's a 1-0 count to Jason Givens. Anthony Salcido on deck for Laverne. Lynchburg will have 8-9-1 due up in their half of the 7th inning. Line drive up the middle, went right over the head of Wes Arrington. He tried to throw the glove up, but not in time and not in reach. Jason Givens is aboard with a clean single, 2 outs. 5th hit of the ball game for Laverne. It will bring up number 6, Anthony Salcido. 274 hitter on the season. He was 3 for 14 in the trip to Texas against Trinity. So now 3 for his last 16. Looking to bust out of a little hole and perhaps get the Leopards some breathing room here. Right now, Laverne sporting the slimmest of leads, 1-0. But Lynchburg, you run out of time pretty quickly. And in the best 2 out of 3 series, obviously you don't want to lose game 1. I feel like that's a pretty obvious statement. Doesn't mean you can't go back and win the next 2. Teams do that all the time. But it just forces you to play from behind. You don't have that room for error. Bullpen might get a little more stressed. Although right now, neither team has had to go to the bullpen. It's Nico Urquido and Wesley Arrington. Locked in a pitcher's duel. Right now, Laverne leading 1-0. It's an 0-1 count. Now 0-2 as Arrington peels off another hard slider for the second strike of the at-bat to Anthony Salcido. Runner Givens could be on the move here with 2 strikes. On the season, he's 9 for 12 in the base running department. Looks like good for 3rd on the Leopard squad in stolen base total. Here comes the 0-2 from the 5th-year Wes Arrington. Ground ball up the middle. Arrington's got it. He'll go underhand flip again. Warrington's done a nice job fielding his position and pitching in general. Lynchburg will move to the bottom of the 7th. Hornets still looking for their first run. It's a 1-0 Laverne lead in Game 1 of the Laverne, California Super Regional from Ben Hines Field. All right, we've got a second change in the Lynchburg batting order. Ethan Moratsky is going to pinch hit for Eddie Gimbel. Ethan Moratsky will probably stay in and play left field. We'll let you know if that changes. But Moratsky will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning for Lynchburg. This is not a completely foreign change here either. Ethan Moratsky had a pinch hit RBI single in regional play. That was Game 1 against Ithaca for Lynchburg. Gave Lynchburg a little insurance run late in the game against the Ithaca Bombers. Lynchburg went on to win that game 3-1. Lynchburg trails 1-0. On the season, Ethan Moratsky, or Ski as the guys call him, is now 3 for 22. Does have one home run. That was in a road contest against the Christopher Newport Captains. But Ethan Moratsky, more than capable. He's been hit 5 times, which is kind of interesting. He has 0 walks. It's a weird little stat line for Ethan Moratsky, but again, a guy that is talented, a senior. He's put a lot of work in, and he's a guy that we love because he does do some work for us in the offseason on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network and figures to do a lot more next year. 1-0 count as Nico Urquidy has missed the zone. Moratsky will flare one into the netting for strike 1, a foul ball. O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, is waiting on deck for Lynchburg. Then it will be the top of the order for the Hornets. And if you're Lynchburg, you're running out of some chances here against a talented arm. You're getting more looks at Urquidy. So, again, as a hitter, you're trying to find ways to keep your confidence. As a coach, you're trying to find ways to build your team's confidence. And that's probably something that's being said. Hey, we're getting a longer look at him. We're getting more information. We're figuring out what he's got. Now let's go to work here these last 3 innings. Moratsky sprays one into right field. That's a base hit and a pinch hit knock for Ethan Moratsky. Told you he was more than capable. Ski is on to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning, and he does represent the tying run for Lynchburg. Here comes the 5th-year man, O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. First year on the Lynchburg Ball Club. He spent 4 seasons as a player at Wofford. Could be one of these bunt situations for O'Kelly McWilliams where it's a sacrifice bunt, but if he places it perfectly or there's a misplay from the Laverne defense, it turns into a base hit. Urquidy has the sign. He will deliver to McWilliams. Bunt is down, right side. Catcher went to pick it up, but instead he'll let it roll foul for strike 1. McWilliams was out of the box quickly, as so often is the case. He'll have to jog back in. Brandon Garcia is going to step up and hand O'Kelly McWilliams the bat. It's an 0-1 count. Travis Beasley's going to take an offensive timeout with his offense. He's going to call O'Kelly McWilliams over and also the third base coach, Oscar Garcia. Sometimes you'll see the runners in these offensive timeouts get involved as well, but Ethan Moratsky will stay put at first base. So this is an element to the college game that I think is so much fun. You'll never see this on TV, but the offensive timeout. You get 1 per inning, and the manager, Travis Beasley, steps out of the dugout to deliver the instructions to both O'Kelly McWilliams and the third base coach, Oscar Garcia. Garcia heads back to a spot at the third base coach's box. McWilliams into the batter's box. It's an 0-1 count. Nico Urquidy, starting pitcher, left-handed first year for Laverne, looks in, gets the sign, throws it. McWilliams fouls it off. It's an 0-2 count. So that offensive timeout, in addition to delivering the instructions, you can sometimes break the pitcher's rhythm. Some value in that for sure. And when you got a pitcher who's rolling like Urquidy, it's worth trying something. He surrendered 3 hits. Here comes the 0-2. Swung through by McWilliams. Catcher mishandled, but McWilliams is out because first base is occupied with less than 2 outs. It'll bring up Brandon Garcia. Sophomore leadoff hitter for Lynchburg is 0 for 2 in this game. He has walked. Brandon Garcia lined out to the third baseman his first at bat, grounded out to the second baseman. Hitting with Ethan Morotsky at first base and 1 out. Urquidy will twist in the breaking ball, and that is strike 1. Garcia just studying that one. Content to let it come in. Low thigh area and take it for strike 1. Third baseman's even with the bag. Shortstop in and towards second. Second baseman a bit deeper for Laverne. First baseman holding the runner, Ethan Morotsky, on. The 0-1 is swung on and fouled away by Brandon Garcia. Now the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Ben Jones waiting on deck. Still some wind out here that does feel like it's blowing towards or out to right field. Maybe also just kind of across the field from a third base to first base direction. The 0-2 on the way. Garcia will foul it away. We'll get another baseball. This is the 4th time through the lineup for Lynchburg. 4th plate appearance for Brandon Garcia. He did walk 1 time. But the 4th time he has faced this talented first-year man, Nico Urquidy. 1 out with a runner on first. The 0-2 is well wide, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lynchburg down 1-0, down but certainly not out. It's a Lynchburg team that has come back quite a few times this year. They are relentless offensively. They are persistent and patient. Urquidy has walked 4, but he hasn't walked anybody since the 3rd inning. Curveball that never quite got the shape or the break, and it's ball 2. Urquidy has hit 2, but again, none since the 3rd inning. Single from Quinn Madden, single from Josh Jorman, single from Ethan Morotsky, who stands at first base. The 2-2 on the way, off the plate for ball 3. So it was an 0-2 start, but Brandon Garcia, as usual, again, persistent and patient. He's worked himself to a full count. Could be an opportunity to run here for Lynchburg. Ethan Morotsky, good speed at first. It's a 1-0 ball game, Laverne leading. Urquidy pitching. Morotsky was running. Brandon Garcia swinging and fouling that one straight back. We'll try it again here with a full count. A lot happening on that play. It's all happening here in Laverne, California. Game 1, super regional action. Game 2 tomorrow, scheduled for 11 a.m. The if necessary Game 3 would be about 45 minutes following the conclusion of that. And remember, the format, you have to win 2 of 3 to advance to the D3 World Series. Here comes the full count from the lefty. Not yet. They got Morotsky leaning, and he is picked off. Ethan Morotsky looked like he might have been running again and got picked off by the lefty's good move. Nico Urquidy has retired a runner on the bases. And that takes some steam off the locomotive. That takes some wind out of the sails for Lynchburg. Brandon Garcia, who has really put together a great at-bat, now finds himself with nobody on base. Full count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Urquidy. In the zone, Garcia laces this in the right center gap. He'll turn and burn around first. Headed for second. Could be a play there. The throw not in time. Garcia slides in safely head first. Brandon Garcia with a 2-out double. So, the pickoff of Ethan Morotsky looming large from a couple different perspectives. Don't know if that ball's deep enough to score Morotsky from first or not. But Laverne gets an out with the great pickoff move. Now you've got a base open to work with Ben Jones with 2 outs. And you only need one good pitch to get you back in the dugout if you're Nico Urquidy. Mound visit time coming for Laverne. And it'll give us more time to talk about the situations and break down some things that are happening here. And this is game 1 of Super Regional play between Lynchburg and the Laverne Leopards. Home team has been so gracious here, and we've had a lot of fun hanging out with you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. For Lynchburg, no runs now on 4 hits. They have taken 4 walks, 2 hit by pitch. Pitch count for Urquidy is climbing. Get a look at those. Let's get a look at the live stats here, which is, as I always say, a fun way to watch a ball game if you can get the internet connection dialed in. It's 117 pitches right now for Nico Urquidy. First-year man has been effective. He has not allowed a run yet. And Lynchburg really hasn't hit Urquidy that hard. I mean, that ball from Brandon Garcia, that's the first extra base hit for Lynchburg. But here's an extra base machine in the batter's box now in the form of sophomore Ben Jones. His high school teammate bouncing off at second. The first pitch to Benny Bombs is low and in the dirt for ball 1. Quinn Madden on deck for the Hornets. Madden, the RBI leader on the team, the hits leader as well. Ben Jones is not only the walks leader for Lynchburg with 47, he's 3rd in Division III baseball. Fastball at the knees, down the middle for strike 1. It's a 1-1 count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. For Lynchburg, you have to sense the moment and know that the time is now. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, but you know that chances are running out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Garcia active at second base. Urquidy stares at him, now delivers. Ben Jones, fastball inside, lays off. Catcher will appeal, and home plate umpire appealing to the third base ump, who says that Ben Jones did not swing, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count with 2 outs. Ben Jones waiting on the 2-1. Bat on his shoulder. Now he'll wiggle a bit with the white batting gloves. Lynchburg in the black jersey, black pants. The 2-1 is low and away, but a called strike 2. Slight disappointment in the body language from Ben Jones. He'll step out, kick the cleats with the bats, and now wave his arms a bit and step back in. Nico Urquidy, tall, lanky, left-handed first-year man for the Laverne Leopards, is officially 1 pitch away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. Breaking ball. Sprayed to the third baseman. He bobbles, has to hurry, throws to first. Ben Jones beat it. Brandon Garcia coming home, and he's safe. He is safe. The throw from the first baseman, Noah Garcia, was low. The catcher could not dig it out. Ben Jones is on first, and Brandon Garcia has scored. A 2-out double from Hollywood got him in scoring position, and not the normal way to score a run. It's either an error on the third baseman or an infield hit for Lynchburg. They don't really care at this point. The big stat is tie ball game, 1-1. Pressuring, base running, always a key for Lynchburg. They are aggressive on the bases, sometimes to a fault. Even in that inning, Ethan Baratsky got picked off trying to steal, or not trying to steal second, but it looked like he was going to steal second. He was leaning when Urquidy picked him off. So the aggressive base running is a double-edged sword for Lynchburg, but that time the sword was sharp and it paid off in the form of a run. Speaking of running, Ben Jones will slide safely into second base. A steal on the first pitch. It's a called strike and an 0-1 count, but now Ben Jones is in scoring position for Quinn Madden. So yes, aggressive base running has been a theme and a talking point all season long, and it pays off there for the Lynchburg Hornets. Another mound visit coming, and this is the 2nd in the inning, so we are going to get a pitching change. We'll step aside, collect our breath, meet the new arm, and tell you more about this ball game. It is 1-1 at the moment, tied up Lynchburg and Laverne in Game 1 of the Super Regional. Tie ball game 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and Verne has gone to their first relief pitcher of the game. It'll be number 47, Austin Klopfenstein. He'll enter with a 5-1 record, 3 saves, and a 3.72 earned run average. He is the team leader in saves and a real bullpen ace for this squad. 37 strikeouts in just 29 innings pitched. He has not allowed a home run all season long. Batters hitting just a measly 183 against Austin Klopfenstein. So he's on in a key moment here for the Leopards, who have seen their 1-0 lead get erased. It's a 1-1 contest at the moment. Quinn Madden will be hitting with an 0-1 count. Interesting to see a pitcher pulled with an 0-1 count, but perhaps Urquidy had just gotten to the limit for the Verne coaching staff. Urquidy deserves high praise, just surrendering the 1 run, only 4 hits. Lynchberg got a pinch hit single from Ethan Morotsky. O'Kelly McWilliams struck out. Morotsky was picked off. There's 2 outs at that point when Brandon Garcia sent a double in the right center gap. Brandon Garcia came around to score on an error from the third baseman. A ball that it looked like Ben Jones might beat out because of the bobble by the third baseman. Here's the first pitch. Sweeping slider is a called strike, so it's an 0-2 count. That was the first pitch from Austin Klopfenstein. It's a tough deal for Quinn Madden. You've got to see 1 pitch from the new pitcher, yet you're hitting with 2 strikes all of a sudden. Sean Pokerock waits on deck. Jones at second. Madden will stay alive. Got a piece of a hard fastball just above the knee. It looks like the fans just shorten it to Klopp for Austin Klopfenstein. So Klopp is a tall, lanky right-hander with great numbers. He's got the high pants, stirrups showing, with the green and orange look for Verne. Here's the 0-2. Madden's staying alive. Got a piece of that one. Seems like Quinn Madden's getting a good look early, even though he does not have a lot of information to go on. Lynchberg scouting, well-renowned, well-noted by this broadcaster. I think the Lynchburg coaching staff just best in the business with the scouting reports, and they really set the players up for success, even when you haven't played a team. This season, anyway, Lynchburg and Verne did meet once last year. Breaking ball off the plate for ball 1. Yeah, that's one we probably should have pointed out earlier. Not that it has much bearing on this game, but these 2 squads did play last year in late February. Lynchburg beat Verne 10-2. So some familiarity there, some history, believe it or not, despite the 2,000-plus mile separation. Breaking ball in the dirt. Madden lays off. Nice take there. Really good hold by Quinn Madden. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in a 1-1 ball game. I said it was rare to have a common opponent. Both these teams have played East Texas Baptist this season. But, yeah, rare to have a meeting of a California team and a Virginia team. Verne really does travel a lot, though, to play some quality competition. Ball below the knee again that Quinn Madden will stay alive on. Fouls it back. That was one that you might even describe as being upper shin there. Quinn Madden just getting a piece. Runner at second is Ben Jones. Good speed there. In fact, he stole second to get in scoring position. Another 2-2 on the way from Klopp. Another foul ball from Quinn Madden. What an at bat right here. Madden not getting a lot of these deliveries, but getting enough. Umpire needs more baseballs. Always the sign that the at bat has gone on for a long time. He'll get a replenishment from somebody out of the Verne dugout, and we'll try again here with 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, tie ball game, 1-1. Here comes another 2-2 from Klopp. That's up and away for ball 3. Just a monster at bat right now from Quinn Madden. Don't know what the end result will be or how much bearing it will have on the decision of the game, but this is a fun at bat to watch right here. Real heart and soul battle. The essence of our game, I always say. Full count coming from the tall righty. Quinn Madden, hands up high, white batting gloves. Here's the pitch. Stays alive again. Just barely getting a piece of that baseball. I think it's become a double-digit at bat. Hard to keep track of with a pitching change in the at bat, which I said is probably a little rare and a little unique. Umpire will dust off the plate. Quinn Madden trying to stay loose, gets down in a bouncing squat and then pops out of it. He's got the wide stance. Madden, right-handed hitter, covers nearly all of that batting box. Right foot on the back line, front foot towards the top line. Here comes the full count. Check swing. Did Madden go? He did go. Catcher bobbled the ball. Now he's going to have to throw to first. He'll have some time. Throw is on target. Out is recorded there. Strange sequence on a pitch that was pretty nasty inside. It was called ball 4, but Madden, in the opinion of the umpire down at first base, went around and did not check his swing. So the inning ends on a strikeout, but Lynchburg does equalize. 1-1 ball game. We're all tied up heading to the top of the 8th. So for Lynchburg in the bottom of the 7th, they tie it up. It's 1 run on 2 hits, 1 runner left on. That runner left in scoring position was Ben Jones. We're tied up 1-1. Wesley Arrington coming back out to the mound for Lynchburg to start the top of the 8th inning. Verne got their lone 1 run in the top of the 6th. Lynchburg theirs in the bottom of the 7th. Just looking at some scores from the other super regional contests, there are 8 series. There are 16 teams still left in. Looks like Randolph-Macon is in a 5-5 tie with Adrian. That game is in a rain delay. Wisconsin-La Crosse leading Wisconsin-Whitewater 3-2. Top of the 9th. A final in 10 innings. Johns Hopkins beats Endicott. Endicott won that game 7-5. Leadoff single for Benny Vogel. He was right on that first pitch offering from Wesley Arrington. Vogel's first hit of the game. And it should be 6 hits total for the Laverne Leopards. So, yeah, number 1 Endicott beat Johns Hopkins in 10 innings, 7-5. Lynchburg fans remember Johns Hopkins was the opponent in the championship series where Lynchburg got the 2023 D3 national title. Looks like Birmingham Southern has beaten Denison 10-1. First pitch ball from Arrington to Ryan Vosica. Misericordia beat Christopher Newport 3-1. Salve Regina beat Salisbury 9-8. And Pomona Pitzer, a team that's in the same conference as Laverne, has beaten East Texas Baptist 6-4. So a lot going on, a lot of connections to these two teams. You know, Lynchburg has actually played, let's see, teams that are left in it that Lynchburg's played this year: ETBU, Christopher Newport, Salisbury. Here's a bunt, left side. This will be tough. Gavin Collins looks at second, throws to first. They got him by less than a half a step. That's the old quarter of a step. Lynchburg got the runner, Ryan Vosica, at first by 1/8 of a step. I mean, that was as close as it gets right there. That's one, if you have the advantage of replay, Laverne might be using it right there. It's another sack bunt from Ryan Vosica. Another good play from Gavin Collins, by the way. Perfectly placed bunt. But, yeah, Lynchburg this year still competing in Division III baseball. They've played ETBU, Christopher Newport, Salisbury, Birmingham Southern, and Randolph-Macon. So Lynchburg's resume is really good. They've played some tough competition. I believe Laverne has played East Texas Baptist. I know they have. They lost 2 of 3 to ETBU, and they're 2-2 this season against Pomona Pitzer, the team that beat ETBU today. All right, enough of that. Back to this one because there's plenty happening here. It's a 1-0 count to Matthew Diaz. Center fielder has an RBI single. That's the only RBI of the game for Laverne. He drove in the guy that's on second, Benny Vogel. Swung on, sent down the right field line, but foul. It will hit the netting over there. Diaz is 1 for 2. The man on deck, Logan Reese, is 1 for 1 with 2 walks. Benny Vogel has scored the only run for Laverne. He's in scoring position right now, standing at second base with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. For Lynchburg, their 1 run is on 4 hits. Brandon Garcia, the shortstop, had a 2-out double. He came around to score on a ball that didn't leave the infield. Arrington, the 1-1 on the way. That ball is bunted. It hit Diaz as he was escaping the batter's box, but the umpire will rule that Diaz was still in the box when that ball made contact with him. That's a funny rule, because if you're in the batter's box and the ball hits you, you're fine. It's just a foul ball. If you're out of the batter's box and you make contact, then the batter is out. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Arrington set, ready to fire. Here it is, at the knees, an absolute bullseye for strike 3. And there are now 2 outs. Diaz, frozen, couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. So here's Logan Reese with 2 outs. Lynchburg has a base open if they would like to work around Logan Reese. Here comes assistant coach Michael Solbach out of the dugout to maybe review that game plan with Wesley Arrington. And this is where I should be giving you those other regional scores right here while we get a mound visit from Solbach. We were discussing with Michael Solbach the art of pitch calling and how you work hitters, how you can play those mind games. It's a physical game. There are some mental games that you can play. And, of course, you have to work with your pitcher's strength and skill set. Try to attack hitters' weaknesses. How do you find the balance there? Fun conversations with Michael Solbach. And those are things that he and the rest of the coaching staff are thinking about pretty much on a regular basis. I mean, that thought process never stops. Well, in the offseason, I bet you Coach Solbach puts it aside. He's a golfer. He's a hunter. He's got other hobbies and activities and passions in life. But it's hard to find more knowledgeable guys than Michael Solbach. And from the pitching side, you combine his knowledge with the knowledge of Travis Beasley. Also, 2 guys, don't forget, that played this game professionally as pitchers. So they really know all the ins and outs of pitching. Arrington's first one was out of the zone, and it's a ball 1 start to Logan Reese. Reese singled in his first at-bat. That was a soft single in the first inning. He's walked his last 2 plate appearances, so he's been on thrice with 1 for 1 and 2 walks. Reese lifts this one into center. O'Kelly McWilliams sees it on the sprint to the right center gap. Now he'll drop down to second gear and catch the ball for the final out of the top of the 8th inning. So Benny Vogel gets in scoring position, but no further. 1 hit, 1 left stranded for Laverne in a 1-1 ball game. Lynchburg coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. One ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning between Laverne and Lynchburg. Laverne the host, Lynchburg the home team in Game 1 and the, if necessary, Game 3. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Lynchburg plays so many close games, and I'm going to give you the statistical breakdown on that. Lynchburg 9-4 this season in 1-run games. So it's 13 of those. 9-4 in 1-run games. Lynchburg in games decided by 4 or less, the old baseball one swing of the bat adage, they are 16-8 in those games. 16-8 in games decided by 1 run or less. For Laverne, a few less 1-run games. They've only played in 5. They are 3-2 in 1-run games. They are 9-8 in games decided by 4 runs or less. So in general, Lynchburg has played in more close games. Now, worth pointing out, Lynchburg has just played more games. They are 33-15, 48 games up to this point for Lynchburg. Verne is 30-14-1, so 45 games. 3 less contests for Verne. Pretty close. And Lynchburg, in general, as I said, has played in more close games this season. You think typically those kinds of things will pay off down the road? Lynchburg, all the players have admitted that last year's playoff experience has helped them this year. They play with confidence when the pressure is at its highest. Sean Pokerock, 0-2 count on the relief ace. Facing the relief ace, Austin Kloppenstein, who the fans just shortened to Klopp, so I think I'll feel free to do that as well. Klopp misses the zone there, and now it's a 1-2 count to Sean Pokerock. Pokey 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch in this game. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball. Pokerock swings through. That's a strikeout. Klopp's got 2 of those in the 2 batters that he has faced. And now Josh Jorman batting with none on and 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jorman's 1 for 1. Came in as a defensive replacement for Eric Hyatt, who finished the day at 0 for 1 with a walk. And Josh Jorman, 1 for 1 off the bench. Awaits the 0-0 from Klopp. Inside rail fastball there for strike 1. No balls and 1 strikes as Gavin Collins, waits on deck. Collins is 1 for 3. Flew out to deep center field in one of the further balls that we've seen travel today. Nobody's really beaten an outfielder over their head yet. And for Lynchburg, it's just 1 extra base hit. That was Brandon Garcia's double in the gap. That ball was cut off by the right fielder Logan Reese, who actually had a play on Garcia at second, but Brandon slid in safely. Here's the 1-1 to Josh Jorman. He'll spray this one to left, and that ball's down for a base hit. Josh Jorman, 2 hits off the bench again. Josh Jorman's postseason run has really been impressive. He does not have any postseason starts, but I believe that's 3 games now in the postseason where Jorman has had multiple hits. He's on first again. Josh Jorman about to lead off as Gavin Collins steps in. Gavin Collins now, I think he's sitting on 197 career base hits. Collins awaits the 0-0 from Klopp. Check swing from Collins, fouled it off of himself. Catcher did well to jump out of there and field that and put a tag on Collins just in case the umpire called that one fair. But the count is 0-1. Joe Munitz, the first-year man, waiting on deck. Joe Munitz hit a ball down the line that the right fielder Logan Reese made a really exciting play on, a diving grab that may not have saved a run, but it certainly saved extra bases. And that ball Joe Munitz hit. Josh Jorman was on first at the time. That was back in the 6th inning. Collins awaits the 0-1. Here it comes. Hard sweeper breaking ball for strike 2. That's that ball that, as a right-handed hitter, starts at your front shoulder or left elbow. And then it breaks over the plate. It's just hard to time up, hard to line up, hard to figure out where it's going to start and end. Collins facing the 0-2. That's high. Now the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Jorman leading off at first represents the go-ahead run for Lynchburg, who is the home team. So you score here, you snatch a lot of momentum. You only need 3 more outs to get, and Verne all of a sudden has their back to the wall. Uh-oh. That ball up and in, high and tight. Got Gavin Collins in the helmet. The umpire will jump up and put his arms around Gavin Collins. I think he was worried Gavin Collins was not going to be able to stay on his feet. I don't think that was Gavin Collins thinking about charging the mound or anything. I think the umpire saw that Collins was slightly unsteady and decided to put his arms around him. So this is bad news from a couple of perspectives. You never see anybody, you never want to see anybody get hit in the head. That's dangerous. And then combine the fact that Gavin Collins is one of, if not the premier defender for Lynchburg at a key spot. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Gavin Collins is coming out of this game. Travis Beasley has already made the decision to pull Gavin Collins out of this game. Call that an abundance of caution or whatever you want to call it. But Travis Beasley has decided that Gavin Collins will not continue. So Lynchburg will have to make a move here and then find a new third baseman. So you have some options there. Ben Jones has played some third base this season and in his career. Could be Jones to third, Ryan Long to second. There's one option for you. Joe Munitz, the DH, is waiting to get in the batter's box after the hit by pitch. He's an infielder by trade, although designated hitter right now. So you'd have to adjust that. You'd have to eliminate the DH and bring Munitz into the game. Runner on first now for Lynchburg is number 44, Connor Moore. Connor Moore will go in and pinch run. Don't know that he will stay in or not. There's some other options available for Lynchburg, but I think that might be the move that we see. Ben Jones to third, Ryan Long to second. And then, you got 1 or 2 games to play tomorrow for Lynchburg, so you're hoping it's nothing serious with Gavin Collins, obviously. Bottom rail fastball to Joe Munitz. He takes that for strike 1. There are runners on first and second for Lynchburg here. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning in a tie ball game, 1-1. It's pressure time again, tension time again for the Lynchburg Hornets baseball team. They play in so many of these close games. Fastball in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher to keep that off the back wall. Jormond is the runner at second. Connor Moore is the new runner at first for Lynchburg. Wesley Arrington is the only pitcher that Lynchburg has used so far. He's been outstanding as usual. Hate to call it a ho-hum game for Arrington, but we've just come to expect this from the Sheriff in postseason play. Wesley Arrington's got his ball club right where they need to be. Munitz swings through a high fastball. And the 1-2's on the way here in just a moment. From Klopp, Austin Klopfenstein. Checks the runner at second. Now delivers. Oh, ball bounced off the catcher's mitt. Runners will advance. Runners will advance. Jorman to third. Moore to second. That could loom large. I'll say it again. In postseason baseball, in a close game, every pitch can be important. And that could loom large. Runners advance 90 feet. Now Lynchburg has 2 in scoring position. Infield will come in for Laverne. 1 out in a 1-1 ball game. Joe Munitz has seen this situation before. Exact same scenario, just in the bottom of the 9th inning last weekend to walk it off against Case Western. The 1-2 is low and away. Excuse me, that was the 2-2. Yeah, the 1-2 bounced off the catcher's mitt and went to the backstop. Now the count is full. Ethan Morotsky's on deck for Lynchburg. Munitz, left-handed first-year man from the Virginia Beach area, is ready. Here comes the full count delivery. Munitz sprays that one back in our direction into the netting for a foul ball. Gavin Collins actually came out to pick up that foul ball. That's a good sign. He must feel well enough to be bouncing around there, picking up strays. Good news there for Lynchburg fans. Full count offering coming up again. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Down for ball 4. It actually skipped into the catcher's mitt. Good eye work there from Joe Munitz. Good plate discipline from Joe Munitz. Gavin Collins is going to go back in the game? Okay. Gavin Collins is going back in the game for Connor Moore. It was like a temporary pinch runner. The rules allow the athletic trainer to give Gavin Collins the once-over as far as whether it's a head injury, concussion protocol, and some of that. And that's a newer one. Back in the day, you would just have to decide, hey, is he coming out or is he staying in? But because it's a head injury-specific situation, he can come back in. So that's a little caveat in the rules there that, again, is rather new and I think confused some of our fans. But, yeah, Gavin Collins is back in at second. So if you pull a guy out just because whatever he's ineffective, you want to use a pinch hitter, you can't bring him back in then. But because it is a head injury and he's being evaluated for a concussion-specific head injury, the rules allow you to bring him back in. There is a mound visit going on right now for Verne. That doesn't have anything to do with the substitution pattern. I think it's just how they want to pitch Ethan Morotsky, who can become a hero again off the bench. I mean, how about Lynchburg? This team, it's a great starting lineup, but they're bringing guys off the bench who are delivering, who are punching the clock when their team needs it most. Maybe we should call those guys the second or the third shifters. They're not starting the game, but they are coming in, getting it done. I'm thinking about Josh Jorman, who's 2 for 2 and stands 90 feet away on third base. And then this guy, Ethan Morotsky, 1 for 1 in this game. He had a key pinch hit single against Ithaca last week. Here comes the 0-0. Bases loaded here with 1 out. Morotsky went after a high fastball, came up with just air, and it's strike 1. I mean, this is fun right here. Bases full of Hornets. Nowhere to put Ethan Morotsky. There is 1 out. Corners are in for Verne. Middle is double play depth. Outfield straight away, medium deep. Here's the 0-1. Morotsky swings through another, and now all of a sudden he is hitting with a no-ball, 2-strike count. O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, waits on deck. Morotsky's 1 for 1. Ivy on deck is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Klopp set. Not checking the runners. Here's the pitch. Morotsky fouls off the 2-strike delivery. He'll stay alive. It is tension time again. The key as a player is to try to stay as tension-free as possible. You'll see guys take the big, deep breaths. See guys try to relax the grip a little bit, to shake it out, the limbs, the arms and the legs, maybe roll the neck. Another 0-2 on the way from Klopp. Here's the pitch. Morotsky takes that for ball 1. Awfully close. Awfully close. Good plate discipline there by Ethan Morotsky. You got to trust the umpire some, too. Munitz is at first. Collins at second. Jorman at third. Morotsky the hitter. Here's the pitch. Gets under this, but it's foul. Not in catching distance, not in play. There is 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Lynchburg blanked in innings 1 through 6. Hornets have 1 run on 5 hits. They have left 8 on base, and 5 of those left in scoring position. Lynchburg has turned 2 double plays defensively to back their ace, Wesley Arrington. The 1-2 to Morotsky, swings through it, strike 3. Good power pitch upstairs from Austin Klopfenstein to get the 2nd out of the inning. Bases still loaded for Lynchburg here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. It's O'Kelly McWilliams the 4th. On the season, Ivy is hitting bang on 300 coming into the ball game, so that's dipped a little bit because of the 0 for 3. He's driven in 24 and scored 41 runs himself. Hits out of a slight crouch, hands in gray batting gloves, wrist taped up. Watches the first pitch, just studies that as it goes by at the letters for ball 1. O'Kelly McWilliams, a 5th-year man from Northern Virginia. Spent his first 4 seasons at Wofford University. Wears number 27. Lynchburg in the black-on-black jerseys. The San Gabriel Mountains looming in the distance. O'Kelly McWilliams will watch another one into the catcher's mitt for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ivy. O'Kelly McWilliams the 4th. Jorman at third. Good speed. Catcher has to be super careful here. You got to keep everything in front if you're the Leopards backstop. The pitch from Klopp. Off the plate for ball 2. Another one that was close. You saw O'Kelly McWilliams track that one into the catcher's glove, and then the head and the eyes go immediately to the umpire to see if he calls it for a strike or a ball. 2-1. Bases full of Hornets right here. McWilliams waits, check swing, ball upstairs, and it's ball 3. A walk would score a run, and it would be the go-ahead run for Lynchburg in the bottom of the 8th. Hornets are the home team, even though they're playing at Laverne's Ben Hines Field. Austin Klopfenstein under extreme pressure. He's a closer, though. He's used to it. Saves leader for Laverne. Oh, inside corner pitch. What a location there. Don't blame McWilliams for laying off of it. It was another one that was close, but called strike 2, and now it is a full count. So much on the line right here. Runners will be on the move for Lynchburg in the bottom of the 8th. Really good speed all around the bases right here for the Hornets. Payoff pitch coming. Put an exclamation behind that. Kelly McWilliams will foul it away, and he'll get another payoff pitch here in just a second. Oh, yeah. This is one of those battles. This is one of those situations. It's like a fate of the known universe situation right here. And if baseball is your universe and you're a fan of either of these teams, it is right here and right now. Here it comes. Oh, it hit Kelly McWilliams. It hit IV in the left elbow. He's fine, and the run will score. Josh Jorman stepping in there. And he's pumped. Why wouldn't he be? Josh Jorman steps on the plate for the second run of the game, and Lynchburg takes the lead. It was a 0-0 ball game through 5. Leopards score 1 in the top of the 6th. They led for a bit. Lynchburg tied it in the bottom of the 7th. And now Lynchburg another run in the 8th. And here comes another mound visit. We're going to get a new arm. Kelly McWilliams worked a full count. He fouled off one payoff pitch. And then the next 3-2 delivery hit him in the left elbow. It is an RBI for Kelly McWilliams on the hit by pitch. Lynchburg leads 2-1. We'll greet the new arm for the Leopards after just a brief timeout. Hold tight, fans. The new pitcher for Verne will be number 19, Gabriel Lucero. He's 2-1. This will be appearance number 16 on the season, all out of the bullpen for Lucero, a 3.66 earned run average. Let's recap the game and the inning. Lynchburg comes in tied. Wesley Arrington on the mound for the Hornets has been incredible. He's used 2 defensive double plays to really help him out. Arrington only has struck out 2, which is below his per-game average, but he has kept the Verne offense in check for really the entire contest. Leopards got their 1 run in the top of the 6th. Lynchburg answered with 1 in the bottom of the 7th. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning right now, and Lynchburg has just taken the lead. A 2-1 advantage right now. The inning goes like this. Sean Pokerock leads off and strikes out for Lynchburg. Josh Jorman with a base hit. Gavin Collins was hit by a pitch in the head. He came out briefly to get evaluated. Connor Moore ran the bases for a bit. Collins comes back in. Joe Munitz takes a really good walk. Ethan Morotsky a strikeout. Then it's 2 outs with the bases loaded. Up steps Kelly McWilliams. He works a full count, fouls off a tough 2-strike pitch, and then Kelly McWilliams got hit by a pitch. That brought in Josh Jorman to score. That makes it a 2-1 lead. And up steps Hollywood. Within driving distance of Hollywood. Still about an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 minutes away from Hollywood. But the man they call Hollywood on the Lynchburg club is Brandon Garcia. He doubled and scored the first run for Lynchburg last inning. He is up facing the 3rd pitcher of the day for Verne, Gabriel Lucero. Lucero starts Brandon Garcia with an off-speed pitch, and that is ball 1. The bases are still loaded. So Lynchburg has found the crack in the door. A base hit right here or an extra base hit might break the door down for Lynchburg. This is a Hornet squad that has found so many different ways to win in this postseason run, where they are an undefeated, perfect 8-0. Lynchburg's regular season was pretty darn good too, but they have hit another gear. Looks like a fastball. Lucero has not found the zone yet, and it's a 3-0 count. This is probably a straight take right here for Brandon Garcia in this situation. Green light early in the game, maybe, but in a one-run ball game, Lynchburg leads 2-1. Bases loaded. He's probably not swinging here. It's a ball in the dirt. He did not have to pull the bat off his shoulder. That's one of the easier RBIs Brandon Garcia is ever going to get. A bases-loaded walk will bring in another runner. That's Gavin Collins. So Lynchburg still just has 5 base hits. But the Hornets, as usual, have found a way to get extra base runners. They have been hit by pitch 4 times in this game, and Lynchburg has now taken 6 walks as a ball club. So they're over their per-game average in both of those categories. Here's the 0-0 to Ben Jones. That is a ball. That was a sharp breaking ball, but not a strike. Gabe Lucero, you can tell he's feeling some pressure. Again, hard to always do the cause and effect. You don't know that it's always the pressure causing the pitcher to lose the strike zone, but right now, Lucero has thrown 5 straight balls. He barely nibbles the outside edge for called strike 1. Lucero needed that just for the confidence. 1-1 count to Ben Jones. Bases still full of Hornets, who now find themselves leading 3-1. Lucero lifts the front leg and throws. Ben Jones will yank one through the hole. Benny Bombs has come up with a clean single. O'Kelly McWilliams around to score. Lynchburg plates 2. A 2 RBI single for Ben Jones. Major breathing room for this Lynchburg team. It was a tie ball game coming into the inning. Lynchburg has put up a 4 spot. A classic Hornet explosion late has gotten them on top and in the driver's seat. It was that Hornets vibes train that was just kind of chugging along for most of this game. Now they have gone full steam ahead and looking for even more. Here comes Quinn Madden. Runners at the corners for Lynchburg. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. All these runs have come with 2 outs. Jones running, catcher bluffs the throw. Ben Jones slides in safely with no throw. 2 in scoring position now for Quinn Madden. That was ball 1. We might have another pitching change coming up here for Laverne. Yeah, they're going to make a move. They are going to make a move. Lynchburg had the bases loaded with 1 out, but Ethan Morotsky struck out. That meant it was bases loaded with 2 outs when O'Kelly McWilliams got hit by a pitch. A full count payoff pitch, by the way. I mean, that's how much is riding on each pitch. If you don't hit O'Kelly McWilliams, if you get IV out there, it's still a tie ball game going to the top of the 9th. Instead, Lynchburg capitalizes on that. They find the smallest cracks. They find the smallest seams in your defense, and they exploit it. They turn it into a big gash. They just go after you. Talked about this patient, relentless approach for Lynchburg. Yes, it's paid off. 1 in the 7th, 4 now in the 8th. We've got the new pitcher on the mound getting ready for some warm-up tosses. To me, it looks like number 13, Garrett Halbenson. Yeah, that's going to be right. Number 13, Garrett Halbenson is on for Laverne. And his back is pressed to the wall right now as Lynchburg, already on top by 4, looks to blow this thing wide open. You've got some options now for Lynchburg pitching-wise. Wesley Arrington certainly surrendering 1 run through 8 innings. He's deserved the right to stay in and finish off on what would be another complete game for Wes Arrington. Yes, another. He's got back-to-back playoff complete games, including the no-hitter against Randolph-Macon a couple weeks ago in the ODAC tournament. Last week, Arrington shut down Ithaca 3-1 in Game 1 for Lynchburg of the regional tournament. This is Game 1 of the Super Regional here in Laverne, California. The Hornets vibes train. That's what all the guys are saying. The conductor is Sean Pokerock, who does deserve quite a bit of credit. We haven't talked about Pokey much today. He's been on once, hit by a pitch, but he's 0 for 3 swinging the bat. But Sean Pokerock always deserves credit as a defender. He's gotten so much better behind the plate. Pitchers gaining more and more confidence in him. And a big part of Lynchburg's success late in the season has been Sean Pokerock, how he's really gotten better as a defender. and just his energy and the things he brings to the ball club, to the locker room, to the dugout. That's why he's gotten the title as the leader or the conductor of that Hornets vibes train that I think can just be a locomotive. It is an engine that just keeps going. It's not that they intentionally get off to slow starts. I think Lynchberg would tell you, hey, we're facing great competition. We're facing some great starting pitching, and sometimes it takes time to diagnose those guys and figure them out and wear them down and get your offense going. So far, though, the Hornets have, true to form, gotten going late. Quinn Madden steps in with a 1-0 count. This is actually the second at-bat of the game that Q has faced two different pitchers in an at-bat. He went through this deal earlier in the game where he faced a pitch from one guy and then Verne made a move to get somebody new in there. The new man is number 13, Garrett Halbinson. Going to get a communication issue as the catcher is going to go get a new wristband from the coach. And when I say wristband, it's an insert to the wristband that, again, features a spreadsheet-like piece of paper that has the pitches on it. So the coach from the Laverne dugout yells out a number sequence, 2, 3, 4 or more numbers, whatever the team is using. And the catcher looks down at the wristband and sees, okay, that's fastball in. He then relays that information to the pitcher. So different ways to do it in the modern game, but that's what Laverne is doing. All right, Madden, long wait for this 1-0, but he's about to get it here in just a few moments. Pitch from Halbinson. Madden swings on it, flares it foul. It is a 5-1 ball game. 5-1. Lynchberg has scored 4 here in the 8th inning. Madden is the 9th hitter they have sent to the plate. Sean Pokerock, the catcher, waiting on deck, actually struck out to begin this inning, and it felt like that was about 45 minutes or an hour ago. Only a slight exaggeration, too, there, fans. This has been a long inning. Here's the 1-1. Inside, Madden moves the hips out of the way. Maybe he could have gone the other direction and thrown the left thigh into that one, but takes it. It's a 2-1 count. 9th hitter of the at-bat. Lynchburg crowd is coming alive with a Let's Go Lynchburg chant. It's a fun environment for baseball. Madden swings on the 2-1, rips it to the left side. Long throw by the shortstop. That ball kicks away from the first baseman. 1 run is in for Lynchburg. Ben Jones will just waltz home for the 7th run of the game. Lynchburg is on top 7-1. The Hornet explosion continues. It is a variety of methods that Lynchburg will employ to win a ball game. This one has been the relentless, patient, offensive approach. If you make a mistake defensively, they will take advantage. They will use aggressive base running. They will use extra base hits from time to time. Not so much in this game. Just 1 double for Lynchburg, the only extra base hit. They've taken 6 walks, 4 hit by pitch. That was an infield single from Quinn Madden with probably an error to go along with it that allowed Ben Jones to score. Lynchburg has scored 6 in the inning. Breaking ball. Sean Pokerock holds. It's a 1-0 count. This is a Lynchburg team that has been up and down for most of the season, but there is no arguing that they are playing their best baseball when it matters most. Lynchburg has found the 5th gear. I don't know, need to research some more train and locomotive information and find out, what happens when the locomotive finds that other gear. We need to learn more about that. More for the LHSN research department at the hotel tonight. 1-1 count as Pokey looks at a fastball at the knees. Here it comes from the right-hander, Halbinson, and that's ball 2. Garrett Halbinson, 0-0 on the season. This is appearance 12, all out of the bullpen. Just 12 innings pitched this year for Halbinson. Remember, folks, all these runs have been scored with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Short lead from Madden at first. Here comes the 2-1. Pokerock watches another one go low and in the dirt. 3-1 count. Leopards were 1 pitch away from going to the top of the 9th in a tie game, 1-1. But it is a razor-thin margin. You have no margin for error when you're talking about playing the Lynchburg Hornets. Pokey, second at bat of the inning, flares one foul to the left side, and now it's a full count Madden will be on the go here with 2 outs. Mick Williams, a full count hit by pitch that scored the first run. Brandon Garcia, a 4-pitch walk that scored a run. Ben Jones scored 2 runs on his infield single. Quinn Madden just scored 2 runs on his infield single. He's the lone runner now in a 7-1 lead for the Hornets. Another payoff pitch coming. Pokerock will foul another one away, and we'll try it all over again here in just a moment. Quality at bats for Lynchburg. They are a patient hitting team. Yes, they have some guys that are aggressive, and that swing at the first pitch of the at bat and the second, in some cases both. But for the most part, up and down the lineup, Lynchburg very patient. They make pitchers work. They make pitchers earn it, and I think that's a big reason for their late game success. They wear you down. Sean Pokerock will laser one foul to the right side. 3 foul balls in this at bat for Sean Pokerock. This is turning into a lengthy stay in the batter's box for the sophomore. How fitting would it be for this vibes-trained conductor, Sean Pokerock, to lay into one right here, keep the inning going. Lynchburg up by 6. They've scored 6 with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Pokey lays off a ball that's down and in for a walk, and now Lynchburg's got 2 on board again. Madden at second, Pokerock at first. 7th walk of the game for Lynchburg, 3rd of the inning. They've been hit twice in the inning, and there's 3 hits in the inning, including one by this guy, Josh Jorman. Josh Jorman, a 1-out single to really start this party. And Jorman always says the party's out front. Can he catch another one out front, keep the party going in the bottom of the 8th inning? Competitive pitch there, outside corner, mid-thigh, called strike 1. Jorman, left-handed hitter, white batting gloves. Lynchburg's in the black top with the black pants, red and white trim on each. Laverne in green tops with gray pants. Jorman lifts one into right, didn't get all of this. It's going to end up being a tough play. Well, the second baseman ran that down. Snazzy grab by Anthony Salcido. Not a lot to like in the inning for Laverne, but that was a good play to end it. Lynchburg on top, in control. They only need 3 more outs to secure a Game 1 victory in Super Regional action against the Laverne Leopards. Do not miss the conclusion. It's coming up next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Lynchburg needs to record 3 more outs to secure a Game 1 Super Regional victory over the Laverne Leopards. My, oh my, what a ball game. For Hornet fans, they were probably expecting this. The late game explosion that we have become so accustomed to happened in the bottom of the 8th for Lynchburg. They lead 7-1. And remember, they were blank through the first 6, baseball fans. Lynchburg scores 1 in the 7th. That was the Brandon Garcia double. He scores on an error on a ball that Ben Jones put in play. Brandon Garcia featured in that bottom of the 8th inning. A bases loaded RBI walk. Lynchberg sends 11 to the plate. They score 6 runs on 3 hits. Do leave 2 stranded, 1 in scoring position. But Lynchberg now in the driver's seat, in control. 7-1 over Laverne. Lynchberg is the home team. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Colin McGuire is on for Lynchberg to try to close it out. Second pitcher the Hornets have used. Wesley Arrington goes the first 8. Pitched outstanding. He gave up 1 run on 6 hits. Looks like Wes walked 3. Arrington struck out just 2. And he leaned on his defense again. Gavin Collins, some great plays at third base as usual. 2 double plays, including one that Gavin Collins started. But Wes Arrington, just what we have become accustomed to from him in postseason play. It's not going to be a complete game for Wes, but he should feel really great about his performance today. He's got his team in a nice position to win. Still work to be done. It's a full count. It's Colin McGuire's working against the new catcher, number 11, Matt Rice. Matt Rice lifts one in the infield. Pop up here, Brandon Garcia waving the arms, calling for it, moving past the bag at second, and catching it for the first out of the top of the 9th inning. The hitter will be first baseman Noah Garcia. Garcia hit one hard right back at Wesley Arrington. That was to lead off the 2nd inning. Arrington got his glove on it, but it was a slightly scary moment for the Lynchburg starting pitcher. Now Noah Garcia needs to get a rally started for Laverne. They're facing the first-year man, Colin McGuire. McGuire's story's been a great one this season. A little bit of a mix of starting and closing for McGuire, but he has been a feature arm, whether it's to begin a game or to end a game. Ground ball, left side. Brandon Garcia on the run. That ball took a little bit of a funny hop and got under him. It was going to be a tough play for Brandon Garcia, even if he fielded that ball cleanly. We'll wait and see what the official scorer calls that one. It's another one to me. Could Garcia fielded that ball with ordinary effort? No. He got to the ball, though, and the glove was nearby. So you could argue that makes it an error, and it looks like the official scorer here in Game 1 of the Super Regional will call that an error on Brandon Garcia. So Noah Garcia is on first. Laverne will need to have a big inning as they trail by 6. Maybe Lynchburg, in fitting fashion, could finish the game off with a double play. Breaking ball, strike 1 to Aiden Saucedo. Correction, this is a pinch hitter for Laverne. This is number 9, Malachi Francois. Malachi Francois in the batter's box. He'll swing and miss at another breaking ball from Colin McGuire. Boy, that looks sharp. That looks sharp today for Colin McGuire. First-year man from Cross Junction, Virginia, has been a great addition to the ball club. He's got an 0-2 count on the pinch hitter, Francois. Here it comes. Ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Pokerot. Kept it in the dirt circle, scrambled to it. Runner could not advance. And if you're Noah Garcia, it's that situation where as a base runner, you should be taking no chances over there at first, or any base, really, when your team trails by 6. Laverne down to their final 2 outs in this contest. 1-2 from McGuire. Also down in the zone. Pokerot caught that one before it hit the dirt, but it's a ball. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lynchburg, to remind you, was 2-0 in Super Regional play last year against the Shenandoah Hornets, an ODAC foe and rival. 2-2 from McGuire was a great one. Called strike 3. Francois can't believe it, but he'll have to walk back to the dugout disappointed. And now the home team, but the visitors in the game, the host school, but the visitors in the game, the Laverne Leopards are down to their final out. Up steps Jason Givens. He's 1 for 3, struck out 1 time, singled in his last at bat, grounded out to the shortstop. Gavin Collins, the third baseman, will play even with the bag for Lynchburg. Swing and a miss on the strike pitch. First strike pitch, rather. And it's an 0-1 count on Jason Givens. Two outs. Top of the 9th. Lynchburg by 6. Called strike 2. Colin McGuire needs to get just one more out to cap off a great Lynchberg victory and technically a comeback victory. Lynchberg was down 1-0. Here comes the 0-2. This ball's fouled. Lynchberg opted not to hold the runner on at first, and Noah Garcia took off on the pitch, but he'll have to come back as we try an 0-2 delivery again. Outfield played deep, including the first baseman, Josh Jorman, not holding the runner on at first. Outfield regular depth, and they've got Givens play the opposite way. That's towards left field. Here comes the 0-2. McGuire went after him. This ball hit hard. Ethan Morotsky on the run. Ethan Morotsky making the grab in deep left field. Lynchberg a winner. They take down Laverne 7-1 in Game 1 of the Super Regional. The undefeated playoff run for Lynchberg continues. A perfect 9-0 in playoff play so far for Lynchberg, and they will be in the driver's seat when we come back tomorrow. It's a best 2 out of 3 series. Lynchberg has won the first one. They need to win 1 of 2 tomorrow to advance to another College World Series. Lynchberg, the defending national champions. It's something that you hesitate to talk about a lot in the regular season, but now, as this Vibes Train playoff run rolls on, you can start thinking about it a little bit more. Lynchberg in the driver's seat for this Super Regional Series against Laverne. How about the 8th inning for Lynchberg? Jorman leads off with a single. Gavin Collins got hit. Joe Munitz walked. That loads the bases. Ethan Morotsky struck out. So we've got 2 outs with the bases loaded. Kelly McWilliams gets into a full count. He fouls one payoff pitch away to stay alive in the at-bat. The next at-bat hits him in the left elbow. That brings in the second run of the game. Lynchberg takes the lead there. Brandon Garcia works a 4-pitch RBI walk. Lynchberg with a little cushion, and then the wheels came off for Laverne as Lynchberg really got it cranked up. Ben Jones, infield single that scored 2 runs, including some great base running on that play from Brandon Garcia. Aggressive, hustling stuff as usual from Hollywood. Quinn Madden had an infield single. Sean Pokerock walked actually in his second plate appearance of the inning, and the damage was fully done at that point as Lynchberg jumped up to a 6-run cushion. They win the game 7-1. A few other statistical notes before we let you go. For Wesley Arrington, another strong start, and I would call strong an understatement for Wes. Arrington pitches a full 8 innings, gives up 6 hits. 6 hits for Wes Arrington. It looks like he only struck out just the 2 hitters, walked 3, but I think Arrington was always in complete command of this one. That is win number 9 on the season for Wes Arrington, and his 4th in the playoffs. Arrington has won a playoff game the last 4 consecutive weekends for Lynchberg. His postseason heroics are well documented, and you can add this to the list. Brandon Garcia, the double, and then the run scored in the 7th inning that tied the game up. Don't forget that one. And it's another great day for Brandon Garcia. 2-hit day for Quinn Madden. Josh Jorman, 2 hits off the bench. That was impressive for Lynchberg. As classic as they do so often, 7 walks in the game for Lynchberg. They got hit by 4 pitches. So the well-rounded offensive attack, true to form there for the Hornets. All right, we'll start wrapping this thing up, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll get a little mini pregame show going around 10:50 tomorrow morning. And, of course, that is 10:50 Pacific time, 10:50 Pacific time. So that'll be what's that going to be East Coast time, Brady Moore? Let's see. It was noon start today and 3 p.m. on the East Coast. So it's going to be just add 3 hours to that, East Coast fans. You can figure it out. And, of course, all the links will be available online. We'll have a little post-game coverage from this one. That'll be fun to talk to some guys, and Lynchburg can go back to the hotel and celebrate and get ready for at least one game tomorrow. You're hoping only one for Lynchburg. It's another one of those situations where you hope for the best, you prepare for the worst, you ready yourself to play 2 games if you need to get to that, if necessary, game 3. But the Hornets will be hoping that it's not necessary. We'll say so long here from Ben Hines Field on day 1. It's a great one from Lynchburg, especially innings 7, 8, and 9. Lynchburg wins this one 7-1. They take down the Laverne Leopards. They take a 1-0 lead in the Super Regional Series against the Leopards. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Ben Hines Field in Laverne, California. So long, baseball fans. Thanks for watching our special postseason Super Regional broadcast on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.